Hello and welcome back to the Movie Marathon Podcast, a place where we watch movies and then we talk about them. We are not experts. Sometimes we're not even fans of what we're talking about. But today, I assure you, we are fans. And I feel like pretty much anyone else is too, on some level, fan of this series, unless you don't have a soul. But let me get there in a little bit. I want to introduce myself. My name is Gabriel. I am your sheriff for today. And I'm here with my roundup gang. First, my partner in crime, my moving buddy, Mr. Dixon. Welcome back, of course.
Hey, yo.
And our special guest from Star Command, rejoining us for the second time, Phil. Welcome back.
Howdy, howdy.
I guess you only do ranking episodes with us since you're here for Scream.
That's it, man. Those are the best ones to do.
But if you haven't figured it out already from the episode title or all these references, we today are ranking the beloved Toy Story franchise.
Yeehaw.
We're doing Toy Story, Toy Story 2, Toy Story 3, and Toy Story 4 ahead of the release of Toy Story 5 in a couple weeks, which we will also cover on this podcast. But before then, we figured it was a good time to look back at the four that we've had, sit with them. It's been a while since even Toy Story 4 came out. So we want to rank them. We want to talk about them. And before we do that, we like to introduce ourselves and talk about our first experiences with the movie. I want to save those individual experiences for our rankings. And when we do our rankings, we'll still follow, some production stuff. We'll talk a little bit about the plot, but it's going to be a much more free-flowing conversation. But there are obviously some tidbits, especially in production, because each one has like a crazy production history. So I want to get to that. But, gents, Phil first. What are your general feelings on Toy Story?
General, without getting too personal into my stories and my connections with it, I'll just flat out say I think it is the greatest kid movie, family style movie, whatever you want to label it as, franchise of all time.
It's funny that you put it literally that way, because that's one of my questions in our closing arguments. Is there anything that can even top or get close to Toy Story? Because if you look at it all encompassing, it's the top. I don't think there's any way it's disputable.
Yeah, I mean, again, I don't know if you're talking about it later or dive into later, but literally they made like Academy Awards category because of Toy Story and what they did significantly through technology and changing the brand, where like cartoon animations type movies are like rare to find now. That alone, what they did with computer animation, and then you're adding now the idea of the best picture of animated film is because Toy Story was there, and they didn't have that in '95. For that whole Oscar, they basically when they made that category because of what Toy Story did.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, it came out I think in 2001, so it was after Toy Story 1 and 2, and then after that 3 and 4 obviously swept it. I'm sure 5 will also do its own honors. So yeah, it's safe to see based on your shirt and your enthusiasm, big fan, as am I.
Of course, I mean Toy Story, even like the characters themselves are like so iconic that like even if you're not like huge fans, like I think people are always going to know Toy Story. It's like if you can go 50 years from now, and it's like I really don't know like the Betty Boop series or like how much I really watched Popeye, but like those are still iconic characters. Like you just know that.
Sure.
I think Woody, if they could stop making Toy Story after 5, 50 years from now, people are going to know who Woody and Buzz are and those characters like that. Definitely.
Yeah, totally agree. Dixon, what about you?
I couldn't agree with everything that Phil just said more. I was thinking in terms of like the bigger Pixar movies as well, where if there's anything better than Toy Story as far as just ranking them against all Pixar movies.
As like a series, like they're like as the
as like a full collection against everything else that has a sequel or even just the standalone Pixar movies. I don't think anything compares to these. I think they are perfect, even if there's, maybe one or two that aren't as good as the rest. And we'll talk about that when we get into our rankings. But I still think
that aren't as good as the rest. Oh, interesting.
Just throwing that out
Dixon.
there.
Folks,
I got to keep these ranking episodes
fans
interesting.
Of the pod, Dixon always does. I mean, again, I've only been on twice, but he always does. He just flips the rankings on his head every time. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
It's like, Rotten Tomatoes? I don't give a shit.
I can't even wait to see now. Oh my God.
I'm like an anti-Rotten Tomato. I'm just like, whatever they say, I'm like, nope, we're doing the opposite.
Right. And then there's the critic score, there's the audience score, and then there's your score.
And then it's and then the Dixon score.
Dixon score.
Exactly.
No, but I think that it would be impossible for me or for anybody, I think, not to have a strong emotional connection to these movies. I think us in particular and our people in our age range also have a connection to these movies because we kind of grew up with them.
Yes.
I feel like we were very similar in age to Andy at the times when the movie came out. So just having that like understanding of his mentality, because we were kind of going through that stuff at the same time, just made it all the more important to us. So I think that was another reason, on top of them just being great movies. Like they are just really unbelievably great movies. And yeah, I think you'd be hard to find somebody that doesn't enjoy these and doesn't love them.
I have a note about my experience, and it's pretty much the same as you were just saying. It's that, we watched 3 as college students. Andy's going to college. Andy's in the main part of his like childhood when we were too. And maybe that's partially why I have maybe different slight feelings about 4, but I don't want to tease that too much. But maybe that's the part of the perspective. But I'll say that the nice part is that as I've grown up, and now we're obviously adults talking about these children's movies, which isn't embarrassing because Toy Story is such an incredible franchise. The films are all so incredible. Even 3 was nominated for Best Picture as its own, just outside of the animated category. But it's nice to now be a parent and watch Toy Story. Like I'm watching Toy Story with my son, and we're sitting there. He has a Woody and Buzz, and he has Bullseye and Jesse too. But we're sitting on the couch watching it with his toys, and I'm kind of re-experiencing it with him while he experiences it. So it's crazy that you can really have something like that, a ride for your whole life.
Right. So Toy Story basically is like set like the precedence of like what Pixar became. It was Pixar would have been out if that was a flop. Pixar would have been done.
Yeah.
And literally, I'm sure history. I know Dixon and one of you guys go into the history of how things are movies. We will go into that, and it was Steve Jobs and all that history later. But basically, Pixar is known for these emotional connections. They make adults find something in the film. They're not just like for kids, and they do such a good job of like interweaving both that where adults leave like happy and the kids like, well, that was so funny, or like it may go over the head until when they watch it later, but they do such a good job of that. And it all started with Toy Story.
Absolutely. I mean, you gotta. I don't know if you want to talk about it. No,
we should be free flowing. I have stuff that we mentioned, but we should just go because everyone's seen these movies.
Yeah. Okay.
The Pizza Planet truck is literally in every single Pixar movie, and it started with Toy Story. Like that is something that people go and see a Pixar movie, and they're like, I have to find the Pizza Planet truck. Like they are looking for it in every single one. And in some of them, it's literally just in a frame. Like they've gotten to the point now where they have to bury it to the point where...
Is it in every movie, the Pizza Planet truck?
I'm like 99% sure it's in every single movie. But more recently, it's gotten to the point where they either have to hide it in like a picture frame in like the room, or I think the one in The Incredibles 2 is in a scene where the kid, I can't remember his name, this Speed kid, the blonde.
Not Jack,
Dash is like running and he's going really fast, and he like runs right past it, and like it cuts through the frame really quickly. So they're burying it, but I'm pretty sure it's in every single Pixar movie, and that started because of Toy Story, because Toy Story had it. I don't know if there was a Pixar in between 1 and 2. I'm assuming there was one.
Toy Story.
But I'm pretty sure it's in
Bugs Life.
Bugs Life was in between. Bugs Life.
Bugs Life. It's at the trailer park when they go to when the bugs go into like the zapper, and they're at that trailer park home. There's a Pizza Planet truck parked right next to it.
Very underrated movie, Bugs Life. I feel like people don't talk about it anymore. It's awesome. Yeah,
Bugs Life is one of my favorites.
It's great.
Probably nostalgia.
Yeah, I think again, I don't want to. We talk about Pixar in general. I think Bugs Life is very forgotten. Where like, the early other Pixar movies with Finding Nemo, Finding Dory, and the Monsters Inc., Monsters University all got sequels and went on different things. Where like Bugs Life is just like, oh yeah, ants. Oh no, that was just DreamWorks ripping it off. They never had a sequel. And it was just forgotten. Like I think the characters are awesome. Hopper's such a good villain.
The music is so good too. Like the score is amazing.
Yeah, and I used to love the Animal Kingdom ride. It's tough to be a bug. Oh my God, that ride is incredible. And now it's gone too with Zootopia. So like basically it's like forgotten media now in a way where like it's just gonna be on Disney Plus, and like next generation of kids are not gonna know Bug's Life if they don't even know it now. Yeah, it's a shame.
So it's funny. It's funny that you said that because there's actually in the credits of Toy Story 2, they do those like fake bloopers
flicks in there, right?
And there's that scene where there's the two of them and they're talking. They're like, "Oh, this is a Bug's," we're in the sequel. And they're like, "Oh, it's a Bug's Life too." And they're like, "Well, not really." It's the scene with Buzz and he's chopping the wood down.
Heimlich, I love the caterpillar too. Great character.
Yep. That's just hilarious that you bring that up. They're like, "Oh, they didn't get a sequel." It's like, well, I mean, not really, technically.
I know. The bloopers were so good too. Did they even do bloopers at 4? I know we're just talking general. Did they do? I don't remember. Did they do bloopers at the end of 4? They used to in 2 and 3. They did.
2 and 3 have it. I don't think 1 and 4 do.
Does 3 have it? I know 2 definitely
3
does.
has a post.
I was going to ask.
I'm pretty sure they have like. I thought it was bloopers.
3, they just show like how everybody ended up.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, okay, right.
It's not bloopers. It's more like a little like epilogue-ish kind of thing. Yeah,
flashes. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. That's right.
Yep.
I was going to ask, and I don't know if either of you know this, was 2 the first Pixar movie to do those like bloopers, those outtakes in the credits?
I mean, it must be. It's the only third movie, so it probably is just by that.
I feel like
Bugs Life did it.
They definitely. Oh, so maybe it was Bugs Life because I do remember them doing it in Bugs Life.
Oh, so then maybe Bugs Life did it too. Okay,
so that makes sense if it was in between those two. Yeah. Okay. So that was
Crazy
the first
fan
one.
below. Comment. Let us know.
Yeah. Right. Call us out on it. As we always say, disinformation podcast.
Yeah.
We're not experts.
Exactly. Just strong opinionated people. That's it.
All right. I think we've had a little pre-chat enough here. Let's call a staff meeting. Get the rules of the rankings and how this all works. Staff meeting.
Staff meeting, everybody. Al's Toy Barn.
Mr. Spell. Okay. So really quick, here's how our ranking system works. We're going to go through our list, starting at the bottom, our least favorite film, and we're going to bounce around between the three of us until we've all named our least favorite. Here's the key rule. We only stop and talk about a film once all three of us have all mentioned it. So if I have, say, Toy Story 3 at the bottom and Dixon has it at the top, we're not talking about 3 until it's the last one left. As we know, this sent our Scream rankings completely haywire. Scream 2.
We need someone to write it down to when we're ranking because the Screamer got a little crazy. We're like,
doing
did we talk about it?
We made a note. Yeah. That one also was 7 and 4. So hopefully this is less, but still, it could still go crazy once Dixon goes. So that's really it. Once all three of us have named it, that's when we dig in. And like I said before, this is really kind of be more free flowing, but I do have notes on production because there really is some interesting production stuff. And as far as like the film itself, we'll just talk broadly about it. No, like necessarily plot breakdowns because we all know these films. And then once we've talked it through and done justice, we'll do our collective number 1 at the end and then our closing arguments. And just one thing to mention, we're not covering any Toy Story shorts or shows. I haven't seen all of that all encompassing. I saw Story of Terror, the Halloween one. I think that was fun.
Love it.
Yeah, Come Back Carl. That one's fun. It's a nice one to watch. But we're not going to cover that, and we are not covering Lightyear in this. Partially because I think if we put in the Toy Story rankings, it would just be at the bottom for all of us. I don't want to speak for everyone, but I think that would likely be the response. And then also, I personally don't really consider it a Toy Story movie at all. It has nothing to really do with it other than being like this version of Buzz. So I almost consider it like a space movie. If you watch it as a space movie, it's more fun than like watching it as like a Toy Story movie. Have you guys seen it?
Yes, unfortunately. It was. I
fell asleep the first time I watched it.
Terrible. Yeah.
Terrible. Yeah.
I honestly just the cartoon. I'm like on Buzz Lightyear Star Command. I'm like I watched it. I was like, I remember liking that as a kid. You watch some episodes on YouTube, and I had the game for Sega Dreamcast. Still have it, and it's like it's that storyline, the kind of adventure is those half-hour episodes are more entertaining than what they did in that movie. Yeah. It's a Disney movie, not really a Pixar movie, so that's also part of it. I think Disney made it, right? Not Pixar.
No, it's Pixar movie.
Pixar?
It's Pixar
Okay,
movie.
yeah.
No, it is Pixar.
I just think they just kind of, again, it's not. It just it doesn't feel like a Toy Story movie, like you said. It doesn't have the same message and kind of like feeling that you get when you watch a Toy Story movie. It just felt like it should have been like a Saturday morning movie, and but they wanted to cash cow it and just put it out in theaters. I watched it once. I kind of blocked out of my mind when it came out, and I don't plan on ever watching it again.
Dixon, you fell asleep?
Yeah, I fell asleep and I woke up, and it was in between when he time traveled. There was some like time dilation thing, and I was so confused about what was going on.
Tenet and stuff, Buzz Lightyear. It's
very Tenet.
I tried going back and watching it again, and it was a struggle. So yeah,
I've seen it. I think twice. I watched it. Lauren and I watched it, and I didn't like it. I think I also fell asleep. I was like, "Oh, this is not for me." I was like, "I don't even know what they're doing here." And then I rewatched it. I think maybe with Theo, and I liked it more because, like I said, if you consider it less like, it's kind of a serious movie. It's kind of like an adult movie. It has like we talk about like adult themes for Pixar, but it's more like serious, like just like a space opera kind of thing. There's nothing. It seems like they repurposed the script and they just put slap Buzz on it, essentially.
Yeah,
I don't know, but yeah. So we're not talking about the movie we're talking about. So other than that,
cut the clip. There we go.
Other than that, let's get to our rankings. So Phil, as our special guest, what is your least favorite Toy Story film?
4.
Toy Story 4. Dixon, what is your least favorite Toy Story film?
You ready?
I honestly, I don't know.
You could make a case. There's really some good parts of 4, so I'm interested to see what you say. Go ahead.
I'm going with Toy Story. No, I'm not going to say 2. I was going to say 2. I'm also going to go with Toy Story 4.
It's a clear cut. I think 4.
Yeah.
Clear cut. Mine is also 4. I don't think there's any surprises here. It will probably get more interesting as we do the next 3, but Toy Story 4 in 2019, directed by Josh Cooley. So before we do production, I just do want to go back to our OG question that we always ask. Dixon, what was your first experience with Toy Story 4?
Honestly, I don't remember. I feel like
summer 2019. It's like June, pretty much the same timeline that 5 comes out.
I don't even remember if I saw it in theaters. I feel like I would have, but I don't recall. I really don't remember my first actual experience with it. But I remember being like, was this necessary? Did Disney really need to do this? Was it, an IP thing, like just to keep the name and I don't know, promote something else? Or maybe they knew they were doing Lightyear, but they needed some time in between. So they were like, let's do a Toy Story and keep the story going. But yeah, I was very much like, I didn't need, I mean, I could say stuff about the other movies and other reasons why. We can get back to that as we go up in the rankings. But I just felt it was an unnecessary movie. There was some high points to it, but overall, just they didn't need to do it.
I'll say one thing to you about that sparked something. Development for this film actually, and I didn't learn this until we were researching this, but development started before Toy Story 3 even came out. And
Really?
Lasseter, John Lasseter of Pixar, director of the first 2, he had a treatment from Andrew Stanton, who is director of Finding Nemo and is doing number 5, also very involved in Toy Story. Pete Docter, Lee Unkrich, the director of 3, all these Pixar guys, essentially. So they had the concept of the love story between Woody and Bo Peep already kind of fleshed out. And then they brought Rashida Jones and Will McCormick on board as writers who departed for many different reported differences. But the production did start before that. So I do agree with you that it felt unnecessary, and it has, some good parts, but I think other than being unnecessary, I think it has its own issues. But I'll get to that as we go through a little more. But Phil, what was your first experience?
Right. So
seeing
I'll
Toy
give
Story
my
4?
first experience and then the take on it. So Toy Story 4, I saw in theaters opening weekend with my wife. And it was awesome. You know, it was the first Toy Story movie in theaters I ever saw with her. So that was something special because I get to share my love with Toy Story with her. And to go what you guys said, I'm going to push back on the idea a little bit of it was unnecessary. And right. So to me, and again, I rank this last, and I said the same thing about the Scream. There's no bad Toy Story movie. So I want to be clear when I said they're all four of them are amazing, and some of them are more amazing than others, right? And the idea of seeing your favorite characters, what maybe you knew them from 5 or 6 years old, right, to now as an adult, still on the big screen, I'm always going to say yes to.
Of course.
Even when we just trash that Lightyear movie that's kind of in the ranking, but now we're talking about it. Hey, a Buzz Lightyear's on the Buzz Lightyear's on the big screen again. Like, I guess I got to see it. I love those characters, and so you guys know me. I bring it back to horror a little bit. I love Freddy Krueger. He really scared me as a kid, and that he's an icon that like I just don't know if they're going to bring him back. I think eventually they will, but like I don't know. It's been a long time. Robert Englund's not going to play the role again, and I guess they're part like you got to treasure.
He'll come back
eventually. He will, but like. I don't know, man. It's been a while, and like you got to treasure when you see a new character, your favorite characters on the big screen, and like that opening scene when Woody comes out in Toy Story 5. I'm gonna clap a little bit in the audience. Yeah, I'm telling you, there's something about that. And Quentin Tarantino, I don't know if you heard his quote, but he did it on a podcast, and I don't know where the podcast is from, but he said. You know, it was the perfect ending to the trilogy. You know, I didn't even want to watch 4, and because there was such a good story arc, I didn't want to continue. And again, I pushed back. I'm always going to let me decide if I don't like it or not. I'm always going to want to see my icons in theaters.
I would never have passed up the opportunity, even though I think we're all in broad agreement. Even though Phil, you are like, I like that you're pushing back on it, and we've talked about this before in person. You talked about it, how in some ways it's an epilogue for you, exactly. And that kind of changed my opinion a little bit, and I want to get into that more. But broadly, I think we're all in agreement. I think the world generally is too, that 4 is kind of not bad. It's just not on the same level, and maybe that's partially because it was continuing after 3. It just has a lot to live up to. And I did see this in theaters opening weekend as well. Lauren and I saw it with Alex and Falvo, which is pretty funny. We saw it at Lincoln Center in the city with a packed crowd of pretty much all millennials. You know, I don't think there were many kids there, which is that just shows who they're making it obviously for children, but also for you said.
We saw it like in the afternoon with like a packed crowd with like families there too. It was wild. We got the full Toy Story 4 experience. Yeah.
Yeah, that's sick. So yeah, it was. I don't dislike 4. I just have mixed feelings on it. And I think part of that also goes into the production history. So like I said, they originally had the concept for the Woody and Bo Peep storyline, right? Then they went through rewrites. Josh Cooley took over as director. Essentially, a significant portion is rewritten, and they added in Woody's identity crisis. Bonnie doesn't want to play with him, which is kind of the beginning, and then sparks the Forky storyline. And what is the purpose to a toy to a kid, which is obviously always interesting in the Toy Story world when they bring up those things. But it's partially why I think I dislike this movie is that the movie feels torn. It's covering so many different pieces. So you have like I said, that opening with Woody where he's not the favorite toy. Then you go into the whole Forky thing. I don't like Forky as a character. I think he's annoying. Theo loved Forky. He was laughing every second. It's the Phantom Menace effect too.
I was just about to say Jar Jar Binks, 100%. Yeah, that's exactly what I say. Actually, Jar Jar. All that I got, I see kids like they like Forky. Like I don't hate Forky because he's there for kids. He's not there for us.
Yeah. So I have to respect the Jar Jar effect because he also loves Jar Jar. He thinks he's hilarious. Like cracks up with Jar Jar. So I have to take the mulligan on Forky. Kids like him. It's ultimately a kid's movie. So then it's focused on Forky, and then you transition then back to the Bo Peep thing, and then you're kind of tying in all these together with the antique store. So it's just a lot, and I think that's problem is just the execution of the film. Do you think there's too many plot lines, Phil, or what were you gonna say?
So my biggest problem with the film, now that we're critiquing it, is is not just Woody, it's Woody and Buzz. And they almost forget, and again, to go to the epilogue thing that you and I had side conversation over the years about, is what's great about Toy Story 4 is basically like, hey, here's a Woody epilogue. And basically this is what happened to Woody, and it almost feels like a way, like it's a Toy Story movie, but it could have been like a direct to streaming style movie, but the way it was so Woody focused, where Buzz in the movie is like an after character, where like he feels like he had the same amount of like thought for his character as he would for like Ham, or like that crazy, or like Mr. Potato Head. Like seriously, he became like a slapstick guy, where it's like it listened to my inner voice, and I was like, that's the part, like when people push back or get mad at Toy Story 4, it's not that, oh, you ruined the trilogy, it's you ruined Buzz in that movie. Yes. That's the part that I don't like about Toy Story 4. I think there's a lot of awesome things that I like about it. Like and those who watch, you can watch the video. Phil Kaboom. I think Duke Kaboom and Keanu Reeves is awesome. I think he's a perfect amount of
one
screen
of the best
time.
additions.
Yeah, I think he's fun. Kay and Peele, they're okay. I again, it probably a little kid friendly, but they work for the movie. It just Buzz, man. I don't know, Dixon, do you feel the same way, that like they just didn't know what to do with Buzz?
They dumbed him down. Like there was no, I watched them pretty closely during the rewatch. I watched them back to back pretty close together. And I'm like, this is not the same Buzz from the first movie, who was like, obviously he had to figure out he was a toy and go through that whole like existential crisis. But I mean, once we get into 2, like he's still smart. Like he was still able to get the toys all the way to Barnhouse, and like he's able to do things. And this one, he's like, I'm just going to listen to the button that I'm hitting, and that's just going to guide me. That was not Buzz at all, or at least not Buzz from the first 3 movies. I was going to say about like some of the other characters. You said Key and Peele. Them, for some reason, and maybe it's just because I'm older now, and like when I saw the first movie, Tim Allen and Tom Hanks weren't like as recognizable of voices for those characters at the time. Like I knew it was them playing those roles or voicing those characters, but it didn't really take me out of that was Woody's voice and that was Buzz's voice. Key and Peele, I could only see their faces in the characters. I couldn't disassociate the actors from the 2 animals that they were playing. So it every time they come on, it like took me out of it. I was like, oh, like it's just Key and Peele.
I think that's 2 problems. I think they're not very strong as voice actors, and I think the characters aren't very strong. And there's so much getting thrown at you. Then you just have these 2 guys that are just kind of manic and kind of all over the place. So it doesn't really help. It's kind of just more kind of thrown at you. It's tough. I do like Duke Kaboom, like Phil said. I think that's a great addition. And yeah, then the Forky of it all, like Tony Hale, he has a good voice performance, but it's just a lot. The movie is just, it's a lot. And the Buzz bit is particularly annoying because that's what it is. It's a bit. You turn his character into a bit for the whole movie. And you think that it's kind of going to be salvageable when he leaves the bus, the RV, and he goes to help Woody because, it's like Woody, he's helping Woody, he's helping his friend, but it doesn't add to anything. He doesn't really do anything, where even in 3, he engineers the escape from like Sunnyside, and he's the one who's the bargaining chip to try to get them places. It's funny that you mentioned Woody and Buzz, Phil, because this movie kind of solidifies Toy Story's Woody's franchise.
Yeah. I mean, I thought you were going to mention the scene where they barely make it out of Gabby's, in the antique store, alive in one piece, as they say. And come on, and Woody's like going back in there. I'm like, are you crazy? And then and it's like, oh, this is the part where Buzz and Woody would have that maybe a great dialogue and connection. And it's just Buzz like, retreat, return to Star Command. It's like, oh.
Yeah.
So that
okay.
scene alone was rough. And also, which is, they didn't really have a villain. This is the first movie they didn't have a villain. So Gabby, basically, the Gabby character is basically just like a ripoff kind of of Stinky Pete, but with like Lotso kind of mixed into one. But then she's kind of like nice, and then like Woody's like, I guess I'll give you a voice box because you have a good reason kind of to be a villain. Like they don't know, like they don't. There's no true villain to the movie.
She's more of an antagonist.
Yeah. So that I don't like movies like that, and I want a Disney villain. I want a Pixar. I want someone to like you hate or love to hate them. Like that's what I want. And they didn't do that. But the positive I will say about this movie is Randy Newman makes his return, and
yes,
I love like I can't let you throw yourself away. Like the way
that one's really good.
It's very good. It's very good. Yeah. So I think that is really a highlight. It's an awesome song. So if I'm listening to like my Toy Story tracks or even Disney tracks, that's top 10 Disney. Like throw it on. That gets me in the Toy Story zone just as much as like his classic ones from from the original. Yeah.
Yeah, I dislike the Forky stuff, but I love that scene because of that song. It's I always forget it's in there, and then it kicks off. I'm like, oh, I like this.
It's good.
Speaking of the music, and I want to talk about all the Randy Newman and music as we get through the films, but is this? I don't want to shit on You Got a Friend of Me and You Got a Friend of Me in any way, but do you feel like this is the first movie where it feels almost tired in the beginning? It plays it out where like you hear it in 1 and 2, obviously. In 3, they kind of because that's part of the plot. But this one, they kind of just play it out as Norm. Andy, you get the flashback with Andy and then Bonnie, and they kind of do it that way. But you guys fine with it?
Yeah, it's fine. It's a Toy Story movie. It's on the checklist when you go to see it in theaters or whatever.
Yeah.
Did 2? It was at the end when what's his name? Wheezy sings
Correct,
it, right? Yeah. He does like a Frank Sinatra kind of version of it.
Yeah.
Like there isn't the Randy Newman version in 2. It's just in 1, 3,
yes,
4.
I believe you're right.
Yes,
yeah.
Randy Newman version of that song is not in. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. But yeah, I was totally fine with it in 4. And like Phil said, it's, you want to see a Toy Story movie, you want to hear You Got a Friend in Me at some point. Even if it's a snippet, like even if at 5 they just throw in like the first verse or first chorus and that's it. And then they cut to a scene or something. Or if they play it in the middle of the movie at some point for some random dialogue or like a flash forward or something, totally okay with it. But yeah, it's gotta be in the movie.
And another thing I noticed too, 4, I mentioned Bonnie, which I like the character of Bonnie. I think she's very sweet, but there's more focus on Bonnie in 4 than I think there is on Andy necessarily. We get that whole scene where Bonnie goes to kindergarten and she's essentially the focus is on Bonnie. Woody's there, but there's a lot more just play into Bonnie. Do you think they are trying to get the audience on Bonnie's side partially? It just felt like a pull away from the perspective of the toys to kind of focus more on the kid. And I feel like you see adults more in this movie too, where in the other films, you kind of forget that you do see Andy's mom, especially once like 2 and 3, but you do kind of see a couple of adults other than the kids in 1, but they're kind of just the way it's always done from the toys perspective. So you kind of never really see them in focus. In 4, they're right in the front.
They do a very good job of like, if the parents are in the scene, they cut their heads off. So you see their bodies, there's a presence there. So like, that there's a parent in the room, but again, you're looking at it from the toys perspective. So they can see the kids because the kids are playing with them. So they know the kids, but the adults are kind of this like almost ominous type figure.
Yeah.
In 4, they are equally in the scenes as much as the kids are. And you see them and I totally agree. They're definitely more prominent and maybe there's a little bit more to them than in any of the other Toy Stories. Which again, what is your perspective? Like, who is the main person that you're trying to get the audience to focus on? If it's Bonnie, then it makes sense that the parents are more visible in this in 4 than they were in the other ones. Whereas like Andy was the main person, so we don't see his mom or any of the other adults' faces really. And he's like the main focus because the toys are the ones that are looking at him.
When the earlier ones, basically, it's they're introducing this is a toy world, so it's the view of the toys looking up. So the parent or whatever, the face is irrelevant in a way. They're just like adult of the toy that of the kid that I'm in love with, or the kid that plays with me. And then the 4, they do it they show us on faces because they do it in bits or in scenes, like the scene with the woman who owns the Second Chance Antiques or whatever the antique shop's called. I think it's something like that. And it's like
with the plush rush.
Yeah, the plush. And we're gonna do
that one's fun.
It's fun. Like it is Key and Peele, but it's good. They do a good job of Key and Peele, where it's like we're gonna do this and smooth jazz, and then we take the keys, like whatever it is. Yeah,
it's funny.
Right again. So there are some parts that like it makes sense, and for the bit, like it's funny for adults because we think of Key and Peele, and like I'm sure your son was like cracking up, like laughing at it.
Yeah. And this is the first movie without Don Rickles as Potato Head. But did you guys know this? They went through 25 years of archival material and used all unused lines from previous films, essentially Star Wars'd him and brought him back to life for this movie. How do you guys feel about that?
As long as it's archival footage, so it's stuff he actually already did versus them like creating stuff. Mm-hmm. And I mean, I'm assuming they would still have to get permission to use from that, even though even though it's stuff that he already did. I'm sure that they still had to get his estate to write off on it. I'm totally okay with that. I think that's a great way to like pay homage to him and like the great work that he's done, even if it's a kind of like sampling of stuff that he did in the past. But yeah, totally okay with that.
Yeah, I mean, even if they wanted to do AI and the family signs off on it, that you can use my voice for Don Rickles' voice for AI, because they definitely do that. I don't hate it. If that's the direction they want to go in. I don't know, like the new Kermit sound to me, like it just doesn't sound like Kermit. Like I don't mind if they're going to AI Don Rickles and the family's estate is okay with it. Do AI Don Rickles? Like it's right. That's the way
if the estate approves it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So that's my opinion on that. Yeah.
They just said today that they're going to do AI Stan Lee voice for narration for one of the 11 Labs or something like that. Yeah. So it's going to be interesting. But I don't want to talk about AI.
I don't know how I feel about that one. that one doesn't feel right for some reason.
Because it's not a reconstruction of a role. We're saying like this one makes it much more okay.
It's just it's a voiceover. It's not even him. It's not even like a hologram Tupac. Like it's just a voice of Don Rickles.
Yeah. Right.
I think, and I know this is a little bit of a tangent, but I want to say it. I think the thing with Stan Lee that rubs me the wrong way is he was not treated well by the people around him.
And now they're just doing another cash grab.
That's why I don't think I like it.
Yeah.
I'm kind of like,
I have thoughts
don't
about
touch
Stan
Lee.
Don't.
Yeah. That's all I'm going to say about that. Just want to get that out there.
Let's back to the subject at hand. Another thing I thought was interesting, they completely changed Bo Peep's design here, along with her character, which I don't really mind the character just kind of growing. That's fine. But do you guys care that obviously she's not in the lamp, but they can't leave her in the lamp? But what do you guys feel about just the whole Bo Peep character change, design change, all that?
I think it fits for the movie. Yeah, Porcelain, I guess you could have done something like that, but I think the direction that they went, it makes sense to have her be this adventurous, like, hey, I'm a lost toy, but I'm thriving kind of vibe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was very cool what they did with her story and had her like go out and like do her own thing and discover the world from a completely different perspective than Woody and the rest of them who have kind of been with two kids for most of their existence. I thought that was really cool. And I also, the one thing I was a little not weirded out on, but was kind of like, I don't know really how they explain that too well, is how Bo Peep was in Andy's room for like 3 or 4 days in 2. And yet she's supposed to be in Holly's room when Andy wasn't there, but she was still there,
Well, she's Molly's toy.
Yeah.
She could travel over.
But it felt like she was in Andy's room the entire time that the toys were out going to try and get Andy back into. Mm-hmm. Whereas and Andy was gone. So it's like the toys can just have free reign of the room.
Maybe Molly was at camp too.
Molly could be napping for you. You have no idea. I mean, yeah.
For 4 days?
Well, I mean, those are the scenes they show you. Maybe the scenes that she goes back.
She goes back. Okay. Yeah. It just seemed like she was supposed to be in Andy's room. So when they were just like, nope, she was in Molly's room, I was kind of like, well, I don't really explain that, but sure.
Well, this is interesting. You mentioned her being porcelain, Phil. The reason she's not in 3, do you guys know why she's not in 3 before I say it?
No.
It's because of the incinerator scene. because they knew that she would immediately break in the incinerator. There'd be no way for her to justify her being in there. So they omitted her completely from the movie. You just like don't go to Molly's room at all. She's not in 3 at all.
They could have very easily done something with her, like what they did with Barbie.
But so that's
BS. They could have wrote her not in that scene and somewhere else.
Yeah.
But that's how we get this opening in this movie, and that's how they explain her absence. They retcon it because the opening, which by the way, the animation in the opening scene is like unreal. The rain on the water, it looks real. Even the antique store sometimes looks real. It's incredible. But so the opening is a retcon to kind of also, they do a little like Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift a little bit there. They throw you that. It's like, oh yes, that happened there. You didn't know about that, but now we're
and what's interesting that you were saying how they were working on 4 before 3. They could have very easily been like, oh, this is what we're going to do with 4. So like,
and it is the Bo Peep storyline.
Take her out of 3, but we'll put in a little Easter egg to say like, oh, like Bo Peep's gone, and then knowing that they were going to talk about it and handle it in the 4th movie.
Yeah.
So that's interesting.
Bo Peep, man. I don't think there's too much else I want to say about it. 96% on Rotten Tomatoes, so it's technically the worst by critics score.
96?
96. I don't want to spoil the other ones, but this is 96, and it has the worst score. So wow. High bars.
Wow. Okay.
Won Oscar for Best Animated Feature, made over $1 billion. This is obviously pre-COVID, right before it. But, it's still a huge success. And by and large, considered the worst, but still very, very strong.
Unbelievable. 96. I'm blown away by 96. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's high.
Wow. Okay. What was do you know what the audience score was?
I don't know audience score. The popcorn meter.
Yeah.
I don't know if you want to check it while I'm.
I'll check it. Yeah.
While I'm looking if we have anything else, but no, I the only other thing I guess I could say, I had a comparison about it. I called it like the Spider-Man 3 of Toy Story films. It just juggles too many plots.
To be fair, though, this movie's way better and like with the Toy Story.
You think this is better than Spider-Man 3?
Oh yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. I think, but I also think Spider-Man 3 is a bigger dip and drop off than 4. I don't think 4 is that bad of a drop off like Spider-Man 3 is.
Yeah. I think it's similar to Spider-Man 3 drop off.
Spider-Man 3 is insane, dude.
I love Spider-Man 3.
Yes, I love it. Like you love like what's the Batman one? Is that Batman Forever with Schwarzenegger? The Ice Age. Like, I love it. Like I like that.
Oh, Batman and Robin. I would love to do Batman and Robin.
Right, but that's right. Batman and Robin. Yeah. So like I don't know, man. Like it's so ridiculous. Like, Batman 3. I mean, Spider-Man 3 is rough, man. Like he's like Venom is supposed to be like you build up his alien from space. You're gonna turn him evil. It's like he's gonna gel his hair back and do a nightclub and dance.
Go to a jazz bar.
Like, go to a jazz bar. Like, come on, man.
So good.
Popcorn meter for this 94. So people liked it too.
Pretty damn good.
Yeah.
All right, we good on 4?
Mm-hmm.
Good on 4.
All right, Phil.
My third least favorite Toy Story movie, and this one was tough. I actually went back and forth a little bit between 2 and 3 for a while, but I'm going to put the original as number 3.
1?
As the third worst Toy Story movie ever. Yep.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Monsieur Dixon.
My number 3 is number 2, Toy Story 2.
We're not talking this round, boys.
Oh boy!
But so far, I'm matching Phil. I have number 1 as number 3.
Wow. Okay.
Rules of the rankings. We continue our rankings. Keep it interesting. Phil, what is your second favorite Toy Story movie?
Toy Story 3.
Toy Story 3. Mr. Dixon.
This is where I had a conundrum, was between my top 2. And I'm still having a conundrum. I'm still debating what I'm going to say to this exact
There's
moment.
no wrong answers. Only for 4.
Yeah, I know there's no wrong answers, but it still feels very important. I'm gonna explain my thought process while I'm going through it before I decide. I think that both of these movies are absolutely incredible in their own unique ways. My only concern is, is one my favorite because it's a better movie and I enjoy it, or is it a nostalgia factor? Like I've lived with that movie for significantly longer than I lived with 3. So is that why I am leaning on making it my 1 and not my 2? I'm going with 1 for number 2. Toy Story 1 for my number 2.
1. So that's the one we are talking about. I'll mention, just for rankings order, my second favorite is number 2. So Toy Story 1, 1995, directed by John Lasseter. Do you guys remember your first time seeing Toy Story?
Don't know if I, again, actually remember the first time seeing it. I do remember that I saw it in theaters, definitely with my parents.
Oh, nice. You saw it in theaters for sure. Sick.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if I did. I can't remember. I don't think so.
Yeah, I saw it in theaters. And do remember falling in love with it, though. Like, I don't remember exactly the moment of being in the theater with it, but I do remember being like, that is a great movie. I can't wait to get it on VHS and watch it a million times at home. But yeah, it classic. I think we've talked about how we feel about all these movies, and it kind of started with this one. Like I was saying before, and I was trying to decide on my ranking order, I think this is the heaviest of the nostalgia for all 4 of these movies. And it's just classic. Like, again, like we said, it set Pixar down this journey. It was the beginning of this wonderful line of movies that they were able to create, and set the tone for what all of these movies were going to look like, how they were going to feel. Like, I always, watching the first one, get dropped into this world, and I'm immediately in it. Like, there's never a time where I watch it and I'm kind of like out of it. I'm like, no. I feel that town, that city, wherever they're in, which they never, so it was like the Tri-County area.
Yeah.
They never name it. It's just like Tri-County. It always just felt like that was Pixar, and that was what they were going for. So you kind of, you compare every other movie to it from that point on. But yeah, I absolutely love 1, and that will be on a rewatch for me for the rest of my life.
Yeah, Toy Story 1's special. It was really hard for me. Honestly, I went back and forth between, what would I rank 2 and what would I rank 3, as far as like, it was not number 1, but where would I put it? And we'll go to pros and cons. So the first thing, I don't know if I saw it in theaters or not. Like, I was 5 when it came out. So you're 4 or 5, depending how old, and so. Yeah, I'll be lying to really remember seeing it in theaters. I might have. I know I've seen every Toy Story movie. I've seen 2, 3, and 4 in theaters. That I know. So I like to say I've seen every one in theaters, but I'll be lying if I really remember that. But I do remember my mom having like the CD and the like cassette, and we used to play in the car the songs, or around the house. We would play it around the house. My mom, I think, even had like a book of like Disney classics on our piano, and she would play like "You Got a Friend in Me" as part of one of the songs. So the songs are great. So it's just so good. And what makes Toy Story 1 so good is, they set a lot of rules of like the franchise without really like the knowing it, right? Because an opening scene now, a Toy Story movie, has to be a child, Bonnie or Andy or whoever, right? I will see what they do with 5, but has to be a toy scene. There's them playing to open up the movie. Okay, it's awesome. That's what you expect now when you see a Toy Story movie. I also,
even 4, even though they opened the Bo Peep thing, they immediately go into a play scenes. They even respect it there.
Right. I think you have to. I think that's the rules they set for Toy Story movies. It starts with the first one. The soundtrack is the best in the franchise. It is, collectively, it is unbelievable. And you got a friend of me, of course, but like Strange Things Are Happening to Me is great. Like I even saw a joke the other day, or like the Knicks and the Carmelo Anthony. It was like, looking around and like Jalen Brunson's the new favorite Nick of the 21st century. He's like him looking around. And dude, it's so good. And the music's playing, and like it's amazing. It's like Carmelo Anthony. It's like as Woody. Yeah, it's great. And then like I Will Go Sailing No More is unbelievable. It's like and it's Randy Newman's voice is just like it's so good. Like on my ship, the way like he gets the notes, like it's so good. No more, like it's like it's so good. Yeah, it's so good. It's so good. And then like the attention to detail with like the army men, and like they make you care about these army men. It just like it's awesome. Mrs. Nesbitt is like it like I play like
iconic
makeup with my daughter, and we have a little buzz, and like we just go let's make her Mrs. Nesbitt, and we do Mrs. Nesbitt makeup, and so like I love Toy Story 1 so much, and I'm almost talking myself to rank it higher, but I'll
because it's so good. It's so good.
I'm going to change it right now on the spot because I do love it so much. But like I just watched, again, I ranked 3 ahead of it. It's not a spoiler. I talked about it, and I just rewatched 3 actually recently, and I was like, there's parts of 3 that really. It's like the visually, it's a little better, a little more updated. Like that's why I kind of put it a little bit higher. But God, the Sid character, like having the villain be a human, where instead of the toy, I think really worked in this movie. Pizza Planet as like when Chuck E. Cheese was like and those kind of arcades was still a big thing in the 90s. I think it was a very smart choice as well in the movie.
Did they ever make a Pizza Planet like at Disney or anything like that?
I'm sure.
I think they did. I think they did in one of the parks. I'm sure Jap would know. Like, Honestly, I never. Yeah, but I think they do. But I just, it's such a good movie, and it's like a timeless classic. Where like somehow being the first full length animated movie, computer animated movie, it doesn't like look aged. We
no,
it still looks good, even though obviously the animation gets better.
Yeah,
it still looks good.
If you compare it to other movies in the franchise or other movies in general, but like you look at like the Return of the Mummy and like The Rock is insane, and then that movie has half Scorpion Man. It's really bad. Or even like one of my personal favorites,
Mortal Kombat.
I haven't seen the new one yet, but I know. Yeah, but Annihilation. Yeah. I love Freddy vs. Jason, but there's some like some of the Freddy CGI is like a little questionable. Where it's like this is like I don't know, it all looks amazing. Like even like the birthday party, where it's all supposed to be different pictures of Andy. It did different, just Andy with different color hair. Like it works. So who cares? Yeah. Like they just get away with it with being so good. Like it somehow doesn't look bad. I don't understand. It doesn't look like a bad. Like I don't know how they did it. Like I don't know.
There are. I feel like we talked about this once before, but there are some older movies, Jurassic Park, that the CGI is so much better than some of the stuff that's coming out today or in the last even like 10 years. It's just mind blowing that movies don't take the time to like get that stuff as perfect as possible. And this is another perfect example of like the first fully, completely CGI computer generated movie looks amazing 25, 30 years later. Like it's just top-notch. It's unbelievable. I also think this movie is hilarious. I forgot how funny it was, even as like an adult coming back to it. There's the scene where they're coming back from when Sid takes them from Pizza Planet back to the house, and Woody and Buzz are in the backpack, and they're kind of like, what do we do? How do we get out of here? And the little alien goes, Nirvana is coming. The mystic portal awaits. I was like, what is he talking about? That is so funny. I'm like, I want to know, what is the alien religion? I had like so many questions, but I was just dying because they're all freaking out. Woody's like, would you just shut up? Like, I'm trying to get us out of here. And he's like, I'm going with God. Like, that's what that alien was thinking about.
So you brought me a funny story too. So, my friend George, so Joe Exton's younger brother, in high school, he is like one of his good friends was on, like she was like the president of like the yearbook committee, and and so he got like he found out all the kids in his senior class. He's 2 years younger than us, and he's like, what kids don't have quotes? And she told him, and he's like, okay, I'm gonna give you like 15 Toy Story quotes, and we're going to put it as a senior yearbook. And then like the salutatorian of like his graduating class had like, it was like, I forget the kid, it was like Stephen Wu or something. And it was like, pull my string, Andy's birthday party's today. Toy Story 1. It was like the class like valedictorian, salutatorian. And
people are reading the quotes like, there's a lot of Toy Story fans in this class.
So
and the following year, like they got rid of like apparently like senior quotes because of him.
That's amazing.
But so much of the movie is iconic. When I do this episode, I was already doing research for transitions and stuff like that you'll have heard, viewers, listeners. But it was easy. It's so easy. The quotes are iconic. The clouds, the intro with even just the limp, which I feel like now is taken for granted. The Pixar intro, which was originally based on one of their shorts, Luxo Jr., one of their earliest shorts from 1986. But everything about the movie is iconic. And we talked earlier about the characters and how they'll be like Popeye and things like that. They will be. They're on their own pillars now, Buzz and Woody in particular. The other ones, the supporting cast are all strong, but Toy Story is what it is because of this film.
I was just going to say to that point, I feel like after that movie came out, anytime you saw something Disney, like a montage of like Disney and Pixar movies, you saw either the scene with Woody and Buzz where they're flying, when like Buzz is holding Woody and they're flying down to the ship. Like that was on every VHS, like coming soon to own on Disney. And it was like that clip of the two of them flying. Like you saw it everywhere.
I'm not aiming for
because
the
it was
truck.
such an iconic movie at that point too.
Yeah, it's great.
It's so good. It's an amazing movie. And so I'm sure you're going to go into production about like what they originally wanted Woody to be.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Let me go through it now, and then you can fill out any holes of stuff too. Mm-hmm. So the story is pretty wild. So it's based off of Tin Toy, which is a short that came out in 1989, also directed by John Lasseter, won Best Animated Short. And so it kind of grew out of that, which I don't know if you've seen it, but Tin Toy is essentially about like a nutcracker kind of toy that a baby chases around a room and wants to like suck on, and then it's all from that perspective. So it's funny. It's short. Obviously, it's short. But so John Lasseter was at Disney. He got fired from Disney for pushing computer animation, went to Lucasfilm, and Pixar had a Lucasfilm division that wasn't called Pixar yet, but was essentially working. It was called the computer division of Lucasfilm, not very sexy, before it became independent, but it was working on computer programming stuff in addition to animation. In 1986, Steve Jobs bought Pixar for $5 million, became one of the majority owners. That's why his name's in the credits, which is kind of always funny to see. And at one point, he was shopping the movie around to Hallmark and Microsoft because he wasn't sure if it was going to work while it was in production. But so the crazy just background production history, it's pretty commonly known that Steve Jobs was involved in the Apple aspect, but the original script was also a complete disaster. I didn't know this. Woody was originally much darker, much more sarcastic, just more of an asshole, essentially. And there was a moment that was called the Black Friday incident on Toy Story, where Pixar screened the first half of the Disney execs in November 1993, and they essentially halted production immediately. Tom Hanks was like recording lines, and he said that Woody had become like a real jerk, and they completely reworked his character and the movie. Do you guys feel like some of that still played into the movie? Is Woody like still a little bit of a jerk in the first one?
Yeah.
Oh, he's jealous. Yeah.
Absolutely. Like, I think the whole plot, the whole point, or like his character's background is basically hating Buzz because he's jealous of the attention that he's getting, which is kind of, I mean, to a point, that's a little bit of Woody's like motivation throughout all of the movies. Like he obviously gets to the point where he wants the other toys to be involved to make sure everyone's getting as much attention from Andy and keeping everybody together. But definitely in that first one, he's like, I'm Andy's favorite. I should be the one that's playing with him all the time. I don't like Buzz Lightyear because he's coming in and wrecking this whole situation. So yeah, a little bit.
He learns to be the leader. And he loses track of that because he was originally in the beginning, he was a leader because, you know, he was like the oldest toy. He was there first. So he was by default the leader and the most popular. And then when he got challenged, he showed who he really was. And then he grew from that moment with the adventure that he went on with Buzz and near-death experience at Sid's, right? And so that really changed who Woody was, who Woody is now moving forward in the franchise. But yeah, apparently in the storyboard, there, like Woody was like in the movie, in the actual movie, Woody accidentally knocks Buzz out the window. In the storyboard of the Black Friday incident, Woody just shoves Buzz out of the window and then goes into bed and like takes a nap or like pretends like nothing happens.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that's like psycho.
Yeah, you can look it up online. Yeah.
It's always interesting. It's like, did he mean to push Buzz? Was it an accident?
Right. So
he looked at the window. He looked at Buzz. He wanted.
They kept it like more like.
It's more ambiguous.
Right? Like and the way they show the storyboard, you can look it up online. It's basically like maniacal and like you could tell the way. Yeah, like whoa, that Tom. This is not the Woody that like we all know and love. Yeah, for sure.
You know what? I think he probably. I mean, he definitely wanted to do it, and I think as soon as he like hit Buzz or he hit the thing that fell that like eventually knocked him out. As soon as he got to that point, I think he immediately regretted that decision. Like he still went through with it, but he felt bad right off the bat.
Oh yeah.
Repercussions.
And then the toys, like what makes Toy Story 1 so good is that like the Mr. Potato Head, like it's great, and there's a running joke, and some of these Pixar things I don't really understand, but one of the lores or theories is that Mr. Potato Head, why he's a little grumpy, is that like he was there before Woody, and he actually was the first toy. And I think it's like age of 3 and up. It says on my box or whatever, like makes him believe that like maybe he was there beforehand.
Interesting.
Andy was like a real baby, and then Woody came along, so like, maybe that's why he's grumpy. There's like different fan theories online, and so I
like that.
Yeah, right. So before Woody, so he was kind of Woody before Woody. But yeah, I think just the characters, like the cast, the supporting cast of these characters that introduce are really good. Like, I think Ham they do a great job. Like
I love Ham. Evil Dr. Porkchop.
Right. And Slinky Jim Varney. I don't know if that's pronouncing last
name
right.
Jim Varney.
Yeah, right. Some Ernest, right. He's passed away now too. Aren't they using voices like similar to Don Rickles now in the later movies?
And he did 3, and that was his last movie. And then in 4, I think they just got a new voice cast for him.
Okay, because I wasn't sure in 4. Now we're going back to. I think he said like Howdy Bob, Howdy, whatever his line is, and like I think he just played an old clip and just.
They might have. He doesn't really do much. We didn't talk about that in 4, but the entire cast is sidelined. We kind of danced around it with the Buzz stuff, but that's part of why we don't know, because he doesn't really do much.
Exactly. Yeah. So in 1, they do a good job of having supporting characters where you feel like you know them, but they're not overstating their welcome. Yeah, right.
I will say about Ham, I feel like he's always kind of on a side quest when shit's going on. So he there's the scene where they're looking for Woody. I know I'm jumping into 2, but there's like the 2 examples that I think of off the top of my head. They're looking for Woody, and they're in the store, and they're in the convertible, and Barbie pops in to like give them the tour, and he immediately is like, I'm gonna go over here and flirt with her. And then when they're in the Pizza Planet truck, everyone's like trying to drive, and he's literally sitting there looking at the owner's manual. He's like, there's no way he's getting this kind of mileage in this car. He's always just kind of doing something on the side. He's playing their harmonica in 3. Like, it's just like he's involved with what's going on, but he's also got something else going on the side, like always on a side quest too.
I love Ham's character. He's so funny. He's the Pixar recurring voice, like John Ratzenberger or whatever. He's in all the movies.
The other thing I was going to say is I really like how they used other toys as like kind of the props. How like there was the microphone that Woody used to like do the staff calls or staff meetings. The Etch-a-Sketch that they used for like the map. In 3, the baby, in 3 when Buzz was trying to get out to meet with the bear, they use that like little push thing that like the bubbles like pop up in the middle. It's like all these like toys you kind of forgot about.
Yeah.
That you just would see in like a kid's playpen or something, and you're like, oh, they use that in almost every single movie. So I just like how they utilize those as different tools throughout, even though they're toys, but they can't really give them too much like personification and like make them as real as like a Woody or a Buzz or even Rex. But yeah, I still thought it was cool.
Oh, I love Rex too.
Rex is great.
Yeah, Rex is so good. I used to have a Rex toy.
Did you guys hear that apparently they wanted Billy Crystal in Toy Story 1? You guys know about this?
Yeah, so these are the casting possibilities. So for Woody, they had Paul Newman, Robin Williams, and Clint Eastwood before Tom Hanks.
Wow.
What a set. Robin Williams obviously would have been amazing. Paul Newman, I guess they're trying to go the cowboy angle. Clint Eastwood would have been ridiculous. He's still alive, though, which is crazy. So he could have been still doing the movies, but
Robin Williams would have been after Aladdin.
Yeah, because Aladdin I think was 92 or 91. Yeah,
that would have
done a great job.
Yeah, Robin Williams. I didn't know he was off for Woody. That's pretty crazy. I know the buzz was the Billy Crystal thing, and Billy.
Yeah, so Billy Crystal turned it
down. So actually, they had it. They really wanted John Lasseter. They really wanted Buzz to be Billy Crystal, and he's like, "Oh, I don't know." And then he's like, "Never again." And then when the part came back up, it's like, "That's what Monster Inc." And he honestly, he's such a good Mike for Monsters Inc. I can't imagine.
It's perfect.
Buzz, like Tim Allen is Buzz. Like Chris Evans does a good job, but like he's not Tim Allen.
It's not the same.
It's not the same. Yeah.
Some other people that were considered for Buzz before Tim Allen and Billy Crystal: Bill Murray, Jim Carrey, Kevin Costner,
I can see that maybe.
Adam Sandler, and John Travolta.
Oh, okay.
He ended up doing. He did Bolt, John Travolta, that Disney movie with the dog, which I kind of like. It's very underrated. But Adam Sandler would have been a little ridiculous. Like, how do you do it?
You are not a toy. No.
Adam Sandler and Clint Eastwood. I would love to see that movie.
Wild pairings, yeah, wild pairings. But there's no one I can't imagine doing better. I mean, both are amazing, but Tim Allen as Buzz is so good. He's in the character. He's just like embedded in it. Any of those guys just mentioned would not have done the same performance. Wouldn't have been close. Yeah. Interestingly, the film's also written by Joss Whedon. Never would have guessed that. It was coming up in my research. Obviously, there are other Pixar people. Andrew Stanton's back and stuff like that. But it just shows a lot of work went into this. There was only a crew of 110 people, which, like The Lion King, which was made a year before, had like 1,000 or 800. So the computer animation really cuts down the crew. But still, just it was really it took a village to make this movie. And like we said, it looks so good for 94. It's incredible. Phil, when you rewatch it now, has there anything that has like changed your perspective as like being a dad and now watching it?
Well, yes and no. So I think it's fun. My daughter knows the characters. We have some of the little toys that she plays with, like the little people type toys. We have a couple of stuffed animals, like I mentioned, and the This Is Nesbitt thing that we do. But we're going to Disney actually like the week after Toy Story 5 comes out. So they're doing a whole Toy Story 5 thing there. So it's gonna be awesome, like a show. They do like a dance, like toddler type show. So I can't wait to do that. I went to Toy Story Land when it first opened, like the first month, believe it or not. I happened to get tickets. I'm like, oh, this is Toy Story. And this is perfect. So I went to Hollywood Studios, did Slinky Dog, did like the quick eat, like Andy's Lunchbox. But I didn't do the full restaurant where it's like,
I heard the restaurant's really
the barbecue restaurant. So I didn't do the full like Woody's Roundup, like barbecue restaurant. And in the restaurant, they have like a thing where it's like Andy's coming, and like you freeze like a toy, so we've been practicing that a little bit, like freeze, Andy's coming, and like don't move. And so I've been practicing that with her. Cool. So I'll get a better perspective of that probably like in a month from now. But yeah, I mean, it's always special. Anytime you have these connections with these characters, and like I said, like a half hour to an hour ago, the icons are special for so many different reasons because it means so much to so many different people, and it takes on a new meaning when you share it now with your children. And that's another reason why I'm always for put them on screen again. Keep it going. Keep the stories and the memories that you have alive with updated technology. Why not? So
yeah.
I think one of the things I was thinking about, and this is probably from my perspective now, having grown up, Sid. I want to know what happened to him when he grew up. Like, did he lose his mind? Did he get put in like an insane asylum because he found out that toys are real, but like nobody would believe him? He's like, no, they like attacked me. They almost killed me. I want to see what became of Sid after the first.
They hint at it in Toy Story 3. I'm not talking too much. I'll just answer your question directly. In Toy Story 3, the scene where they're in the garbage dump, with escape. Okay, the guy's wearing the skull, right? And so I guess it's supposed to be him grown up. Now we don't know that. I don't know. Maybe.
Another Pixar theory,
right? So again, but that technically could be him. But even Sid's house, so fan theory. But even Sid's house, the carpet, I'm pretty sure is the same carpet as like the Overlook Hotel in The Shining. I'm almost positive it's like the same style. I'm being serious. Like,
it is.
Okay. I love that.
I think that's.
I have a note. It's so funny that you mentioned Sid's house because I have a note about his and Andy's houses and how Andy's is so much more welcoming and Sid's is almost like it's the 90s, but it hasn't been like updated since like the 70s and 60s. And it's so detailed. I love that detailed and how it's Andy's home is much more homey and inviting. And, you know, you can assume that there's something screwed up that happened to Sid in his upbringing, but it's interesting because I don't think you see Sid's parents at all. You don't see Andy's dad, the whole thing about just Andy's mom, single mom, but you don't see Sid's parents, but Sid's sister's nice. I wouldn't mind like a Sid's sister spinoff.
Hannah. Oh, Hannah. So good.
So, yeah, the Sid stuff's interesting. And I wonder, obviously, he's our first villain, a true villain in the movie. Is Sid just really bad or is he kind of just imaginative? He's just putting his toys together. I love when they call them cannibals. It's so funny, but is he that bad?
He's a villain. Yes, 100%.
He's like,
yeah, he's basically, he buys fireworks to blow up toys in a world where toys are alive, and maybe he doesn't know that, but the movie is set through Tori's eyes, so it's portrayed that he's bad. And I don't know about you, but like blowing up your toys, that's psychotic behavior. That's bad. Yeah.
Fair.
And his parents aren't around probably because he probably has bad influence. Who knows what they're doing, and so like he got his hands on fireworks. It was like an 8-year-old. So, I mean, the big one, come on.
Yeah.
It's not like a 7-Eleven firecracker or something. Like he picks up. He's doing some shady stuff. Yeah.
No, and like the first explosion, like when we first see him blow up a toy, the neighborhood shakes. Like you're telling me that like there's not people on that street that aren't like, what are you letting this kid do? Like it doesn't matter if he's like, kids break toys all the time. They're like, no, what happens with this? And they like break a leg or something. But he was actively blowing these things up to the point where the neighborhood was shaking. There's no way that a parent couldn't have been like, you can't let your kid do this. Like this is not okay. Like the cops didn't get called on him at any point.
Right.
He shoots out the big one. It's like a giant firework in the middle of the day. Like it's crazy. There's no way.
Yeah, I mean the movie's amazing. Even like it's they do it in two with the highway scene, like the chase scene with the RC. It's so well done as a climax to end of the movie. The way
Woody's face when they first take off, when they first light the rockets,
it's incredible.
It's so good.
And like the way they end it, it's like, what could possibly replace you, Buzz? Like a puppy. Like great ending, a perfect ending.
Really good.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, it's awesome.
Was there anything else that you guys noticed, Dixon? You mentioned some stuff that you picked up on, but on the rewatch of this or watching it recently, like I had noticed just little things, but like when Buzz lands and he has like he lands and he's like dizzy. He goes like, it's just like small little details. Or I had forgotten that they're listening to Hakuna Matata in the car when they're moving, and they just cut to that scene and they're just in the car like Hakuna Matata.
That's so
and
good.
It just cuts again. Just little things that I just hadn't caught. Was there anything else that you guys caught or forgot about?
Not that I can think of for this movie. There are others. I don't know if you want me to save them or
save for the other one. Yeah, I mean, I had nothing for 4 because what are we going to talk about?
But yeah, one more thing I'll say about one that we didn't bring up yet. Have any of you guys ever played the Toy Story on Super Nintendo or Sega Genesis? Toy Story 1?
No, I didn't play it.
Maybe once, but I don't really remember it.
Yeah, incredible game. It was back when they made games, when Disney games were hard, because the whole thing is they wanted people to buy the games and they didn't want them to beat it in one weekend rental, like at a Blockbuster or your local video store. And that game's incredible. Yeah, so I never beat it, but I got pretty far, and it basically tells the story of the movie and has like the music in the movie, but it's like Genesis or Super Nintendo soundtrack, like with it, sound I should say. Yeah, so it's awesome. I think that just adds to the enjoyment of Toy Story, yeah, for sure.
It's funny that you mentioned that because I just saw a reel, I think last night or a couple nights ago, where this uncle's like talking to his nephews, and he goes, "I'll give you $5,000 if you could beat Lion King the game."
I've done it. It's the hardest game I've beat in my life.
It looks impossible.
No. Could have made some serious money, Phil.
No, I'm telling you, it's insanely hard. So if the Super Nintendo version is harder than the Genesis version, I believe, because the Super Nintendo version, the famous level in the second Lion King, and a quick tangent, is that it's I just can't wait to be king, right? It's a song and it's very playful and colorful. You know, how hard could it be? But then it gets to a part where like you have to balance and like perfectly timed jumps from swinging like hippo tails, and the hitbox apparently like the detection of it is smaller. I think in the Super Nintendo version, and so it's harder to time that up. Where like the Genesis version, I think there's like a cheat shortcut where you can find where like a rhino will like shoot you over that or something like that.
Amazing.
But then in that same level, after you get past all the swinging, then there's monkeys, and you have to roar at the monkeys, and they'll throw you a different direction over the map. So then you have to memorize which monkeys to roar at, because if you roar at a monkey, it changes like the position of the monkey, and then he'll throw Simba in different directions. So you have to memorize which. And this is the second level of the game.
It's impossible. Yeah. It sounds impossible.
So literally, dude, I took like I went over. Danny and I basically a month. We just like every weekend we just like stay up late and play at his house. And we had notes, and it's like, all right, second cave to the left, and like that's where you go to fight this animal. Otherwise, like the second to last level of the game is just a giant maze. And if you go into the wrong cave, it just restarts based on a loop. So you have to figure out like which cave to go in each time as an adult Simba before you fight Scar. And literally, we drew out a map.
It's amazing.
I remember playing this game. As you're talking about
I never played it.
It's like it's coming back to me, and I do remember it being very difficult. But I remember those exact scenes you're talking about.
And then
so funny.
Aladdin as well. Aladdin is also part of that like core trilogy of 90s games that made it hard because they didn't want people to buy the game. I did beat Aladdin as well. It's a little bit easier. Aladdin.
I didn't know that's why they were so hard. That way it was deliberate that they were like impossible.
Right.
Phil's just like, all these really hard games that made it impossible to beat. Yeah, I beat them all.
Well, yeah. I mean, you have a bubble TV in a Genesis. You know what I mean? So magic happens.
It's easy when you need that.
Yeah.
All right. So a couple last things about this movie before we move on. It's an hour and 17 minutes.
Is it really? That's it?
Total running time. TRT is 117. That's crazy.
We're an hour 17 minutes in right now.
That's crazy. That's crazy. That's so weird. That was not intentional at all. That's so weird. That's like, wow, that's bizarre. That's almost like on the screen recording, the original screen recording, there was like, it sounded like there was a ghost at one point. I have to play it for you another time. God. It was really scary. It was on Andrew's side too. But anywye, that's without credits. The 117, like it ends and then it's 117. But it's so tight, under 80 minutes, and this movie is like perfect. Even though we're talking about it now, then we say there's two better ones. It's so perfect. There's even an Al Toy Barn cameo in this on the TV. They quickly flash it, and I don't know if they were embedding that later or they brought it back, but just it's amazing, and that's why it earns a 100% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Hell yeah,
96 on Metacritic. I'm sure the popcorn meters equally as high. Selected for preservation in the National Film Registry. 6th best animated film, AFI's top 10 of 10. One of only 2 animated films ever in the 100 greatest American films made alongside Snow White. Dixon, what's the popcorn meter?
Popcorn meter's at 92, which is less than Toy Story 4.
That's bizarre, but I'm sure it's just because more people have seen it, so maybe it's got more downvotes. But
yeah, 250,000 ratings.
Yeah, it's one of the most critically acclaimed films ever made. Did we do it justice by putting it here?
Again, like I said, when we first started talking about it, I went back and forth between what was 2 and what was 3, and honestly, I think it's a tie. No joke. If I didn't just rewatch 3, I probably would have been like, put this ahead of it. I'm going to be totally honest, but rewatching it at 3, and when we talk about it, I'll tell you why I put it ahead.
Yeah, I had it at my 2, but again, it was a absolute toss up between this and 3 for my top 2.
Well then, let's get back to our rankings because we just have to list our favorite Toy Story movie. And just to review, Phil, you had 4, 1, and 3. Dixon, you had 4, 2, and 1. And I had 4, 1, and 2. So, Phil, your favorite Toy Story movie is?
Toy Story 2. It is the greatest animated sequel of all time. And it is in a Mount Rushmore of best, all not even animated, all sequels of all time. that's counting your Aliens, your Terminator 2, your Godfather Part 2. It is in the Mount Rushmore of greatest sequels ever made.
And let's talk about it because now we've all mentioned it. So what's your first experience seeing it, Phil?
So my mom was sick with breast cancer at the time that the movie came out. Those listening, she's great. She's doing well. She's 2-time survivor. But at the time,
awesome.
Love that.
Yes, but at the time she was sick, and I remember exactly where. So my parents hired a little extra help around the house, and there's a Spanish woman named Inez who would come over and help support and do some errand like dishes or like laundry and things like that. My dad was working and my mom was doing chemotherapy, so she kind of would help out a little bit around the house. And we all went to like old school movie theater. Though people in Long Island would know Comac, Long Island. And it was a very old movie theater, made it all at the very end. I saw super bad opening weekend there. So Freddy vs. Jason in that theater. I saw a lot of crazy movies in that theater before it finally closed. It was a very old school style, no stadium seating, things like that. And I remember seeing that movie in theaters. And that was definitely the first Toy Story movie I remember seeing. And then I remember having Checkers for the first time, having the Big Buford after. Yeah, it was incredible night. And
Cheese Champ.
And so I remember seeing all these people, and this woman helped out with us. And just everything about that movie is honestly, I stand by what I said. I don't think I'm saying anything crazy. It is the best animated sequel of all time, and is, in my opinion, is a Mount Rushmore, or it's definitely in the conversation of the best sequels in films of all time. Everything a sequel should do is add on the lore of the first one, and I think it does that every best ways possible, literally the best. And the whole each character of a sequel, you want to introduce a new character. You watch Toy Stories and you watch Jessie, and you would think that she was in the first one. She is so her journey in that first movie, second movie, is so emotional that you would think she was in the first movie. Like the way they portrayed her arc and kind of wishy-washy between being with Stinky Pete, Pete the Prospector, to I don't know, kind of turning towards Woody's side, and her story, it's unbelievable to me. I just, it's emotional. Tom Hanks even talked about crying when he read it. It's the script. Him and Tim Allen.
The Jessie stuff is so strong.
Yeah, it just hits strong. I love the song. I think Woody's Roundup is. It might be my favorite Toy Story song of all time, and I know it's so good. It's so awesome. Okay, Bullseye again, a fan favorite character. The Sneaky Pete twist. When I was a kid, blew my mind. He's bad. I couldn't believe it. Toy Story 3.
I was wondering if we all saw that coming. I didn't see it coming. When I was watching.
No way. We were kids.
No.
Toy Story 3 basically did the same thing. They kind of ripped it off a little. In fairness, Toy Story 1, human was bad. Toy Story 2, the toy ended up being bad. Toy Story 3, they did the same thing. So actually, in my head, we were older. I saw it coming. They're going to do the same thing again. And so, a little ding on 3 compared to 2, and we'll talk about both. But yeah, so those are the real main reasons to me, is that a sequel should add upon it, and these characters and the music. When Somebody Loved Me, by that song is incredible. Jessie, it's very emotional,
unreal.
The music.
I was gonna say that song. Yeah. It's probably a tie between that song and the opening of Up as the most emotionally
Up is hard.
Compelling songs in Pixar. Those two things, if you don't feel something listening to those 2 songs and watching those 2 scenes, you don't have a soul. You just don't. It's impossible. That
I had forgotten about Up. I think that's actually probably harder to watch than the Jessie scene, but the Jessie scene is also heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking. And she has a chip on her shoulder the whole movie, and kind of until you get there and you really earn it. And like you're saying, Phil, you almost forget that Jessie and Bullseye aren't in the first 2 because they're that good.
And that's what a job of a sequel is supposed to do. It's supposed to, add on the lore of the first one without making you wish you saw the first one. It does that in every way. Well, even Al's Toy Barn, as we hinted at, they have Al's Toy Barn. Al is an amazing character. The idea of a collector. We all collect things, right?
So smart.
It's so smart. The way
and Wayne Knight. Oh,
I know Newman, perfect pick for him. Even when he's burping up the Cheetos, every scene, the Woody Museum, and it's
the guy that's fixing Woody.
I'm on a howdy, hey, I'm on a Yoda, yo, and it's like, go long, bullseye. Like I quote Toy Story 2, honestly, at least once a week, no doubt. Like I randomly go to my wife, I'm like, that's in Japan, and like I love Toy Story.
That's in Japan.
Like, it's so, dude, it's amazing. They actually have like
Zurg with Buzz. No.
Yeah. Right. They actually have the Zurg.
All of the Star Wars references, like, and so detailed. Like the opening scene, there are so many different sounds
Star Wars,
that are directly from Star Wars. Like his laser sounds like a TIE fighter. Like there's a
battery
missile that sounds
lightsaber.
like
The little robot thing that's like Return of the Jedi that comes out of the wall.
Yeah, when you're you're in Buzz's suit, his breathing is Darth Vader's breath. Like it's just, you're a Star Wars fan. It's just icing on the cake.
Even the Zurg toy is cool. Like the Zurg vision looking through the eyes. Like,
so cool they brought that in.
Yeah, it's so well done. The animation, the jump from 1 to 2 again, is greater and significant enough where it builds upon the original in the perfect way. It doesn't take away from it, but it looks so much better than the original. That's like, oh wow. The jump to 2 to 3 is noticeable, but like and 4, but like 2 is that
the time span spot. Is not longer though.
2 is that perfect spot where it's like it looks like it honestly it could have made last year. Like it doesn't it still looks so well done. And then going back to another thing that again why Toy Story 2 is so good. You talked about the guy fixing Woody, and Gerald, the character, is actually they reused him. There was one of the original Pixar shorts, Gerald's Game, that him playing.
Yes,
playing
I
chess.
forgot about that.
Yes, yeah.
Oh my god, I forgot about that.
You can't rush on, and his character like trying to put the needle through. Is
that the short that preceded Bug's Life?
I believe so. I think it might.
It is because Toy Story didn't have a short.
Yeah,
and Toy Story 4 actually didn't have a short. 3 did, and 2 had. I don't know. Now I don't remember what 2 had, or if it had. It had something. Yeah, but it had one. I have it listed here, but yeah, that's right. I forgot about that.
You want to know something that's also interesting too? So he comes in and he fixes Woody, and he stitches up his arm and like cleans everything up. He paints his head. Everyone's making a big deal about there was like I don't know if it was a shot or a clip in the trailer.
The bald spot in 5.
Woody's got a bald spot. I'm like, he had it in 2. Nobody was complaining about it then.
I dodged trailers. I'm crazy, but yes, I'm aware of there is an image of him like that, but I haven't seen it yet.
Everyone was making a big deal about it. I'm like, he had the same thing.
Yeah, they did that.
He puts a hat on. Like eventually, putting the hat on and off a while is gonna wear down some of the paint. So he's gonna have a bald spot, and it happened before. So if anybody's still complaining about it, we're past that.
Right. So what I love about it too is that you talk about the arc of Woody, right? So and honestly, Toy Story 4 kind of does this too, I guess. But the second one is just so much better. Is that Woody toys get damaged, toys get broken, and now you see Woody's damage, like you see Woody getting ripped, and it goes through like now he's no longer wanted. So he finally was okay with sharing the spotlight with Buzz to Andy, and now it's like you just can't catch a break because now I'm an older toy. Now like now he's gonna favor. There's gonna be all these new toys, and to have him feel that way to the end of the movie where they show Woody gets fixed up like we talked about, and the end of the movie like Woody's arm gets like fixed, gets ripped again in the climax, and I know everyone we talk about Toy Story 3 and the incinerator scene of course in a second, but the idea to have the ripped arm back in the ending, like, is it going to rip? I don't know. I don't know. As they're hanging out of what happened to the end of the super terrific happy hour? It's like, we'll find out together. Like that scene is incredible. How it's a callback from the beginning of the movie, and they do the opening with him playing. They say, okay, every Toy Story movie, we're going to keep that rule going now. Now it's established in law, like in the law of Toy Story. It just, I don't know. What didn't you guys like about it? Because that's what I want to know. Because it's perfect. It is a perfect movie.
I don't dislike anything. I just think 3 is just a smidge better. Probably. I'll talk about it.
So I'll tell you why
minutes,
2 is better than 3. And there's an argument where I think most. Again, I don't know if you're going to play that argument or not, but there's an argument that people say that why 3 is better than 2, and then what I'm going to tell you is, oh yeah, that makes sense. Why 2 is better. Yeah.
Just because I'm saying in 5 minutes, I think 3 is just better, and then we'll go back to 2 because 3 caps it off. It has a perfect ending, and it is literally perfect, the ending. So I don't think you could beat that.
Right. So the ending is amazing. So sure, but did you feel, and I'm sure Dixon as well, like we all love Toy Story 3, do you feel that in Toy Story 3, the ending with Bonnie and Andy giving the toys to Bonnie and they incinerate it, you felt that emotional connection? And that's kind of why that's why you ranked it so high, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Toy Story 2, and this is the reason why it's better, is a standalone film. You don't have to watch Toy Story 1 to feel any connection with Jessie, to feel any connection towards the end of that movie. Where if you just watch Toy Story 3 and not seen any of those, you're not getting that same connection.
I feel that. I understand.
And that's why Toy Story 2 is the perfect sequel of all time, and that's why I rank it higher.
It's interesting. I think 3 is a better film, but I would say that 2 is a more perfect sequel, if that makes sense. I would agree with that. It's like the Empire Strikes Back to New Hope. You know, it develops the characters, adds new ones that make them feel like they're part of the gang, and does what some of the other films do worse. I think, the villain is better here. Lotso's great too, but I think that the twist, not the villain, but the twist is really good.
Yeah.
And that, he's you think he's one of the good guys. Lotso, you kind of are suspicious of him from the get-go. But also what I was going to say is that they do Buzz right here, where 3 or 4 he became a gag, but essentially it's similar to 4, right? Woody is off on his own adventure, and the gang is trying to locate him or get him back or help him. So they involve everyone else in this one, and Buzz has something to do. And not only beyond his motivation isn't just get Woody back, but then he has the whole Zurg thing. He has other things going on.
Yeah.
And it's just not the same in this one.
Right.
So, or in 4.
Right, in 4, we already said that. But even Toy Story 2, how we talk about the video game aspect, the opening scene really is a video game. And like, they have it. He has, and later in the movie in Alice Toy Barn, he gets like a strategy guide, and there was no internet back then, so that was a real thing. And players had to look up how to beat these levels, and I think that was just a perfect nod because they knew kids were struggling with the actual game. So there's so many things in that movie. Cool. Just like we just talked about like 10 minutes ago. Like it's just so smart how they do everything. The movie's unbelievable. Yeah.
I also think it's interesting. Like we were talking about how like Sid's a villain. Stinky Pete, if you think about from like his perspective of what he was trying to do, he was just trying to do what he thought was best by trying to keep Woody in as part of the group and have them go to Tokyo and like basically just last as long as possible. Like, that was his motivation.
His motivations aren't bad. Yeah, I mean, he's a bad guy, but he thinks he's helping the Roundup gang.
He's bad from the perspective of he's keeping Woody from doing what he wanted to do, which was go back with the toys.
Yes,
that's the bad thing that he did, but he was doing it for what he thought were the right reasons.
I don't know how that remote turned on either, but either way, you gotta get back in that box.
Woody,
I love Kelsey Grammer. He's so good. He's
so good in this.
Yeah,
so
he's
good.
Great in this.
Turn me around. The prodigal son has returned.
Turn me around, just bullseye. Turn me around. So can you guys believe
so good?
The Suits wanted to make this a direct to DVD sequel. They wanted to make this the return of the Jafar model.
No.
Yes, I know.
Yes.
I know.
No.
Gabe, you're going to go into that. You're going to go into Senorita Cactus, all that stuff. You're going to go into it?
Into what?
Senorita Cactus. Sorry, my Spanish is terrible. You know what I'm talking about?
I don't have that specific, but let me go through what I have, and then you can fill that.
Right.
You can fill that. Because maybe it's just that's just the in-house name of it, whatever it is. But so they wanted to make this a direct to DVD or direct to VHS DVD sequel. Worked really well for Return of Jafar, for Aladdin. That made like $100 million in profit at essentially no cost. Pixar pushed back, made it theatrical, and nearly killed the company doing it. So it was super chaotic. The crew on A Bug's Life was 300 people deep working on that movie. The Toy Story 2 team was then isolated in a separate building across the railroad tracks from them. And Disney was really unhappy with the pace. And while they were working on it, an animator was clearing files and accidentally deleted. So this is the same incident. Okay. Deleted the root folder of all the Toy Story 2 assets on the Pixar servers. So they lost 90% of the work from the past 2 years, and the backups weren't functioning. The film was only saved because the technical director, Galen Sussman, who had been working remotely to care for her newborn, had a backup copy on her home computer. And the entire film was rescued off one woman's laptop.
They kept, it's not even a laptop. I'm pretty sure it was like a home like tower, like computer. And
right. It wouldn't be a laptop back then. Right.
And they had like blankets and stuff, and like everyone get in the car, and like they had it in the car and transferred it to the Pixar studios. This tower building, like in the backseat of this woman's car.
I'm shaking just listening to this story. I'm like, that gives me so much anxiety of that we could have lost this movie.
No, I know.
It's crazy.
So the Senorita Cactus was one of the original notes about after Toy Story 1 was, well, there was no female lead character. And so the Senorita Cactus character was, again, when Vision was going to be directed video, the idea was, okay, we'll have this woman character instead of Jessie, and she kind of be wishy-washy, like which way, but she would ultimately be like bad because she was, straight to video, so she would end up being a bad with Stinky Pete and be there's not much more a personality who would voice her. You could look up concept of her online, but basically that's what we're going to do. That's what they wanted to do. Then when they finally realized what they're going to do with Toy Story being a theatrical release, they cut her, added Jessie, which you all know and love, and Bullseye. Apparently, Bullseye was supposed to speak, and the woman was Martin Short was going to take the role as Bullseye.
Oh, I would have loved that.
Yeah, I know, it's amazing. But like the budget restriction of Disney and like the time, they had to pick between Bullseye and or Jessie, because they had a Jessie and of two characters. Like, well, we can't have Jessie not talk, so they actually saved money and time to meet the due date of not having Bullseye talk and animate Bullseye's mouth. So Bullseye's charm of him not talking actually works even better in this movie, and that was a great decision to do that. Yeah,
I had a note about that. Why is he like a goofy Pluto kind of thing? Where he just doesn't get speaking role. But I didn't know it was essentially budgetary. That's interesting.
Yeah,
but it works for Bullseye. I don't mind that he doesn't talk.
Yeah, I love the part when it's like Danny and it's Andy and with the shoes like
where
that.
Gets like he puts like his head down, and
he's awesome. I mean, like I said, like the Toy Story 3 is very emotional and it caps the whole series. But like if you just watch him stand alone, Toy Story, you didn't know any of the characters and you just watched 3. I don't feel you get that connection as much as like Toy Story 2. Buzz is also like he's taking on the Woody role now. He's becoming the leader that that with these toys, like while trying to rescue Woody, just like the roles are reversed. I just think it's perfect, and that's why it's clear cut number 2 for me. I'm number 1 for me for Toy Story 2.
Yeah.
It's wild, and the history is just it's so crazy. The overwork. A full third of the staff developed repetitive strain injuries. One animator was so overworked he forgot to drop his child off at daycare and left them in a hot car. They were fine, but just shows how all overworked they were. Lasseter took over directing from someone named Ash Brannon, and they still delivered 100% on Rotten Tomatoes. Same as the first one. It's really, really wild. So it goes to what Phil's saying, a perfect sequel. And just want to give Joan Cusack a shout out as Jessie specifically. I don't know if we named her specifically. And the Sarah McLachlan song specifically, I want to talk about one thing about that. I know we danced around it so many times. It lost at the Oscars that year.
To what?
Do you know what it lost to?
To what song? Please.
No idea.
You'll Be in My Heart, Phil Collins.
Okay. All right.
A good song, but not the same.
But I get it. It's Phil Collins. Like
it hits. I guess you could listen to You'll Be in My Heart. You won't listen to When She Loved Me.
Correct.
I think You'll Be in My Heart is actually like a full, like he wrote that as a full song, and I think they played the full song in the movie, versus When Somebody Loved Me is more of like a snippet. It's kind of just like, I guess it's not like verse, chorus, bridge, chorus. It's just like a verse and a chorus, maybe once. You'll Be in My Heart just feels like an actual song you would hear on the radio, versus, the other song is you would watch it in Toy Story, cry for like a half hour, and then go about your day.
Right?
A little different, but those are close. I mean, I'd probably be saying the same thing if it was the other way around. If this song won and You'll Be in My Heart lost, it would be like, all right, that makes sense.
So just a couple other things I want to touch on here. Barbie finally appears. It's kind of overshadowed. We're in 3. She's such a big role, but Mattel refused to license her for the first movie, and then after they saw the success of Toy Story, they came back, and that's where you got Tour Guide Barbie, voiced by Jodie Benson, who is Ariel from The Little Mermaid. So nice little,
that's cool.
Yeah, Disney cameo there. And then Estelle Harris, the mom from,
of course,
Everybody Loves Raymond, plays Mrs. Potato Head.
I'm going to push back on that. Estelle Harris is the mom from Seinfeld.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
I think of Doris Roberts, but yes.
Yes. I'm mixing them up. Yeah. You're right. No, you're right. That is.
I'm big fans of both those shows. So yeah.
Yeah. Mixing up my old woman. But is Miss Potato Head a sweet potato?
Oh, don't you call me sweet potato? Yeah, it's amazing. And we also, your angry eyes. It's so quotable. Yeah.
Angry Eyes is so good because now it's like an old quote, but I feel like that was even in the trailer. So good.
My daughter knows.
And then I love when he's about to pull them out. He goes, "Welcome to Mr. Angry Eyes," and he puts his shoes on his eyes.
Yeah. So I teach my daughter those are the angry eyes. Put the shoes on.
Yeah. And I feel like this is the first time, and we talk a lot about the Buzz stuff, but this is the first time we get different Buzz variation. They do Spanish Buzz later, but this is the utility belt Buzz is so fun, and it's such a good bit to go back to the Star Command. You have your cake and eat it, where you get the serious Buzz, but you also get real Buzz. And then they're like, "Well, how do I know the real one?" And they just open his helmet. And he's like,
he can't breathe.
So funny, so good, so good.
Like Buzz,
so good.
What is that? That's from is that Total Recall, the movie with the twin? There's some movie like science fiction movie like that. Which one's which?
Yeah, that's Total Recall. Yeah,
that's Total Recall, right at the ending of the movie. Okay, yeah. So they play into that too. The movie's unbelievable, and Phil Collins is great, like we talked about. But I mean, like that Tarzan is all songs. The movie really isn't that good. It's just all.
It's a musical.
So I rewatched it actually someone recently on Disney Channel, and yeah, just Phil Collins, just let me just show off my album. Like I can make it without Genesis, and that's basically the movie. Yeah.
It's funny that you said the Total Recall thing, because now that I'm thinking about it, there are a lot of callbacks to other space sci-fi movies. So we talked about the Star Wars stuff in the intro. Total
Recall. They do Space Odyssey music.
He goes like this. Like he uses the Spock hand thing a couple of times. They do a lot of that, calling back to other sci-fi characters and things here and there, which is pretty cool.
Do you guys think, talking about Pixar theories, do you think that Andy's mom is Jesse's owner?
Yes, absolutely.
I don't know. I mean, I heard that theory. I heard isn't there a theory too that like Inside Out, someone Inside Out is somehow Andy's mom or something like that? The girl from Inside Out.
The girl?
Too? Yeah, is there something like there's some room like that too? Somehow Inside Out is connected to Toy Story. I think there's some.
I don't know about that.
There's all those Pixar theories of everyth's connected. They just and all that, but
I don't believe any of that stuff. To be
I like the one that Jesse's owner was
is Andy's mom. They got it back. It could, and that's because she kept the toy. She kept it. Yeah, right.
I think toys show up. I think it's the hat, right?
Yeah. There's certain things that play into it.
Andy's hat looks like Jesse's hat, and it was supposedly his mom's that he gave to Andy.
But there's something else too. There was something else, like something under the bed or something similar. But yeah, there were a couple different things that you could assume, or Pixar likes to play with you a little bit.
So one more thing that I almost forgot to say, and then I did a little more research on Toy Story 2 that I found out today, is that when they were going to do the straight to DVD, because that old straight to VHS video at the time, Disney had their own company, Seven something, I forgot the name of it, and they weren't going to give it to Pixar, and so that was a big thing too. And so their version of Toy Story 2 would have been like that. There was like knockoff like Buzz in like Taiwan. And
that's in 3. I thought that was supposed to be
3. That was 3. Okay, it might have been 3 then. Okay, it might have been 3 then. Okay.
Yeah.
I heard that today, like driving home from work. I'm like, this is crazy. And like some guy was talking about it. I'm like, that I never heard. I'm like, it must have been 3 then. Yeah.
We'll get there in one. We'll be there.
In 1 minute, everybody. Just quick tease, because that story was wild.
For 3. Yeah. The Taiwan thing. It's fun. I like that.
Oh no, it might have been Mexico then. That's what it was.
No. Okay, Mexico.
The scenery, the cactus. That's what it was. And it was in Mexico. The idea of Toy Story 2 being in Mexico, and then it was like El Buzz or something like that, Los Buzz or something like that, and that's I guess they used back. That idea for Toy Story 3 to have Spanish Buzz, and that Buzz was going to be speaking in Spanish in that version of Toy Story. Yeah. So it was that, and then the Taiwan. I'm mixing it up. Then the Taiwan one was, I guess, supposed to be 3. Yeah.
That's fun. I like that they kept the ideas in there. I also love something I noticed in this one, in the airport sequence when they're, maybe I'm just dumb. I didn't notice this when I was younger, but when Woody's going to rescue them on the plane and he's running across the like luggage carriers, it's like a train. They're playing the music, but it's like the end to Woody's roundup.
Yep.
It's so good. I was like, oh my God, this movie's amazing when I was rewatching it. Like, how did I not catch that?
So Dixon,
so good.
Did I convince you a little bit to move Toy Story 2 up in the rankings?
Yeah, probably. I'd probably bump it up.
Easily swayed.
No, but let's be honest. Like, it's that good.
You're right. No, you're right.
Everything about it's perfect. Yeah. I mean, you get nostalgic ties to another movie, sure, but like, it's amazing.
Yeah. No, you're right. You've convinced me. But again, these movies are all great. It's you're fine tooth comb,
splitting hairs,
splitting hairs with it. It's just, they're all incredible. They're all at the top of Pixar. Like, it's tough to really definitively say one's better than the other, but this is, you got to do it for the pod.
And your number one was Toy Story 3. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you and Gabe are 3. Yes.
Yep. And let's do it. Let's talk about 2010's Toy Story 3, directed by Lee Unkrich. And I'll just say my first experience with this movie, I saw it with you, Phil. You, Nem, Giuseppe, right? And Nem's ex and her friend. Was that it?
I think so. Yeah. Yes. I know I saw it with you and then. Yeah.
Good crew. Yeah. I think we saw it like by Nem's house somewhere up there in Denville, I think.
Yeah, somewhere in Jersey. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, but that was amazing. And we originally, as a group, I think this was before you were at school, Dixon. Yeah, because it would have been sophomore year. But we all went and saw 1 and 2 at New Rock, right? And they did like the re-release. That was crazy. We went to Buffalo Wild Wings when Buffalo Wild Wings was like super hot. It was like the coolest spot at the time, like 2009. Like, that's a hot time.
We may have been partying a little bit in the double feature.
Of course. Just a little horseplay.
I rock Gabe's world about sneaking stuff into the theater.
So yeah, I have actually seen 3 Toy Story movies with Phil, which is funny. But so we saw that one together. I had an amazing experience. I was bawling in the theater. I'm pretty sure we all were. Oh, and Reese was there too. Was Reese there?
He probably was. We had a big group, man.
We did. I think Reese was there too.
When we saw 1 and 2, I think we had the full Fantasy Football League minus like Connor, Odyssey, and Dixon. I think at the time. I think like everyone came basically. Yeah.
There were like 7 of us in Jap's like pickup truck. Remember that?
Yeah, we all crammed in. Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah,
it was a newer. I think it was a newer shell. You said?
Yeah. So Dixon, what was your experience seeing this movie?
So my first experience, I wanted to go see it, but it was funny. I wasn't as driven. I had heard good things about it. I wasn't as driven to go see it until I talked to you about it, Gabe.
Really?
I heard from you. We talked about it, and you were like, I was in tears at the end of this movie. I was like, all right, well, now I have to go see it. I think I went like the next day. Especially me. I was like, I lost it. I absolutely lost it. When I tell you, to this day, I was explaining it. I was talking to somebody about this movie, and they aren't like crazy movie people. So they're like, I don't know if I'm going to see it. You can tell me what happened. And I was talking to them about the incinerator scene. And then I'm like, and then the toys, they like connect their hands and they accept their faith. I literally got choked up talking about this movie as an adult to some other adult. Mm-hmm. It was incredible. It was absolutely incredible. And I know we said it a bunch already, but the way it ties everything in, the way it just bookends this trilogy of these movies so perfectly is why I had it as my number 1 overall on this list. But yeah, I went based off of your recommendation and cried like a child in the theater, but enjoyed every single moment of it.
Toy Story 3 is amazing. Yeah, exactly. My first time with you like that, and yeah, I just think that the way they ended it was there's a reason why I ranked it ahead of 1 is because that scene, the incinerator was good. When I rewatched it, because you already know, even watching it live, I was like, they're not going to kill off the toys. And apparently, I think there was like an ending or some cut where they did go to blank. There's some rumor that they weren't going to do that. I never believed
like Sopranos does.
Yeah, I never believed they're going to do that. But Come on, man, it's Toy Story.
Could you imagine?
There's no way. There's no. I saw that for a second. I didn't even believe that. But I did get, even watching it again, watching Andy give the toys, and like, you know, us being in college like that, and it's always, even now as an adult, like I give toys to my niece and nephew or my daughters, and like I have no problem giving them away, but it's like you do kind of in a way like you better take care of this, like, so like and so I get that. I think that hits home to me, and that kind of feeling of the ending is why I ranked it ahead of one. But like I think it's like right there tied with one. To be honest, the more I talk about it, but the ending, that ending with Andy and Bonnie to me was more emotional than the actual incinerator scene.
I agree.
Phil, I was completely convinced they were all going into the incinerator together.
Come on, man.
I sat there. I had my hand. I was sitting there like this with my hands on my head. Like, they are literally going to burn these toys together. They're gonna go out all together at this scene. I was losing my shit at that scene because I really thought it was gonna happen. I thought they were gonna go through with it. And the relief that I felt when the claw came down, I was like, oh my! It was. My emotions were just up and down the entire time, and then the fact that they're controlling it, the claw, it was just a roller coaster of emotions that last half hour of that movie. It was just unbelievable.
You know what else was a roller coaster? This production history.
Go ahead.
Oh yeah, let's go.
So it was Lee Unkrich directed it. He directed Coco. Big Pixar guy, involved in a bunch of them. Not written by a Pixar guy, though. Michael Arndt wrote it. He wrote Little Miss Sunshine, also did a draft of Force Awakens. So I like some of his work. I don't like some of his work. But interesting that it was directed or written by a non-Pixar guy. And so the production history starts with yet another corporate war over these beloved toys. So Disney and Pixar, as Phil was alluding to, their deal fell out of favor. Disney had the right to make sequels to Pixar films without Pixar's involvement. And in 2004, when production negotiations broke down, Eisner set up Circle 7 Animation to make Toy Story 3 without Pixar. And that was the script that had a recalled Buzz being shipped back to Taiwan. And Tim Allen had agreed to do it without Pixar's involvement. Honestly, sounds like a fun idea. Probably would have been a good script either way. But, you know, in the world of what ifs, who knows?
But apparently, didn't Tom Hanks say he didn't want to do it if it wasn't Pixar?
Yeah, I think. But you know, Tim Allen's fucking doing it.
Yeah, of course.
You know?
He did a movie where he voiced a dog, didn't he? In one movie, right?
Yeah.
Shaggy Dog. Come on.
Shaggy Dog. He's in. You know, he needs the money.
Exactly, dude.
Got to pay for those houses. So then Disney rebuys Pixar, whatever it is, $7.5 billion later. Lasseter's back, Seven Circles shut down, and everything just restarts from scratch. So this is where Unkrich comes in, Arndt writes a screenplay, like I said before, and then Hanks comes back, $15 million for the voice work, highest salary ever paid to a voice actor. And they made the junkyard scene, required over a year and a half to develop it and simulate. They did the train opening, which I think is so strong because you haven't seen these characters in over 10 years, and they just bring them back in the best possible way and like with the most imaginative play scene you could think of. What did you guys think of the opening?
It's great how each opening scene kind of like builds upon itself. So the first one is Andy playing with the toys. Then the second one is the Buzz's video game. And then the third one is Andy playing with the toys, but like what he sees in his head and like how realistic the action that he's creating with these toys actually is comes out in his mind. So I just love how it like progressively gets more and more intense to this last one where it's like Buzz is literally lifting up a train from a canyon. And then
so
Ham comes in, he's on this giant spaceship. Like it was just so much more unbelievable. And yeah, it was just really cool to see all those toys used in these very like fanatical, over the top ways in Andy's imagination, basically.
Yeah, even the lines they brought back, like, you know, I got a dog with a built-in force field, and it's like, well, I brought who eats the attack dog? You know, like, you know, whatever the line is, right? It just like they bring it back. I remember watching in theaters with you. I was like, wow, that's a great callback.
Yeah, it was so good.
Yeah, I love the evil Dr. Porkchop and it's Death by Monkeys, like that had the monkey barrels back. It's a great job. Yeah, it's a very
T-Rex or Rex has like the full roar, and it's the T-Rex from Jurassic
Park.
It's so good.
So good. So good.
Actually, we didn't talk about it. In Toy Story 2, they actually do a callback scene of the side mirror, and they have like the water shaking.
Oh,
yes.
Yes.
Yeah, they do that in 2. Yeah.
That's really good.
Right, but it's great. Yeah, it's and actually, now that we're saying this, sorry jumping back, everybody, but the trick is my mind too.
It's all been covered.
Yeah. So there was when they wanted to do the direct DVD or VHS opening to Toy Story 2, they wanted to have just the ideas they use. They wanted to have like a Godzilla Godzilla Rex, and so it was like, you can look it up online. There's like a video of like Rex like coming through the town where Andy's playing, and this would have been the opening, and it would have been like Rex like coming through, like storming through, and then he like Buzz like shoots him with like a suction cup or whatever, hits him, and he goes out of control and lands. Woody goes out of the window and lands in the yard sale, and that's how Woody lands into the yard sale.
And that's cool.
And they thought it was like, hey, we got to make this movie longer. So for like that's kind of cartoony physics. So then they had like the Wheezy character, and like they added the Wheezy character in, and
that's how
they fleshed it out, longer to make the movie longer than direct to sequel. So I thought that was really cool too. But they had the idea of the Rex always wanted to be scary, where like for Andy he was scary there. So that was kind of really cool callback as well.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah. Another thing, Randy Newman's back.
I
we
know.
belong together.
Yes.
Another great one. They're all good. He does such a good job in these movies. But I forgot that this one was in it, and then it comes in the credits, I believe.
Yes,
it's really good.
So the Toy Story 2, the one knock that you guys really didn't say was like, oh, where's that classic Randy Newman song? And that's the one thing that you could say, and it's like you didn't. That's the one that you could say that Toy Story 3 does have that. Right, that's the one thing you can't count on.
But the Jesse song is so strong, so you're
right.
Good.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
And then so we have some new cast members. Ned Beatty as Lotso, so good. Ned Beatty, I love him as Otis in the Superman movies. That's what I really remembered him as. But he's great in this. And then Michael Keaton, part of the Keaton Reconnaissance. Ken, so good.
Ken was great in this.
I'm a big fan of the Bookworm character.
Like, the Bookworm's good.
He sees the heels. It's so
good. Yeah.
He's like, so Ken.
Amazing, yeah.
I like that Lotso's backstory is different from Jesse's, where Jesse was abandoned. Lotso was just lost, and then it's really just the parents replaced him. So it's at least nice that they do it differently. The motivations are slightly different. And then I love Big Baby. I don't know if you noticed. I noticed on the rewatch, things that you noticed on the rewatch, he has like prison tattoos on his arms.
Amazing.
But it's probably just like the kids that played with him, right?
That's
like
exactly
drew
right.
on him
It's
and stuff.
exactly right. Yeah.
It's so funny.
It's so clever.
They also they don't explain how the one eye is like lazy.
Yeah.
Like when they do it in the flashbacks, there's no lazy eye. The baby's fine. Like I was thinking like maybe Lotso like dragged him too hard and like bumped him into something, and that's how he got the eye. But they didn't really. I wanted to see that, but I didn't notice the tattoos. That's hilarious.
Yeah, it's really good. Did you guys know Lotso was bad from the beginning? Did you kind of sense it?
You probably get a little bit of that from after watching 2. They're like, if he's the main guy on the other side of the toys that's like dealing with the toys, he's probably bad.
Mm-hmm.
It was like, where else were they gonna bring in a villain or a character that's supposed to be like the antithesis to the group? So it kind of defaulted to him a little bit. Yeah.
I agree. I think when the second one came out, we were kids. It kind of really threw me off guard, like a twist like that, right? Then not that crazy of a twist, but the idea of wow, that this is not a villain from the start. This guy. He had Lotso had good motives for sure, but I definitely think that like you have an idea going, okay, this guy, he was introduced like probably end of the first act or beginning of the middle act of the movie. So eventually I'm like, where's this villain going to be? And right. So you have an idea. So when he did turn bad, it was like, you kind of saw it coming. But the way he did it with like the buzz, I thought it was very cool to kind of have like demo buzz and like Tim Allen's voice.
So good. Demo mode is so good. It's one of the best parts. And we just talked about Spanish buzz, but demo mode and the Spanish buzz make the movie even better. They really do bring it up such a high notch. And I also love the potato head when he's the tortilla.
Yep. You would not believe what I've been through tonight. Yeah.
And that we talk about using the supporting cast. This is how you do it. No one really feels useless. They all kind of play their roles. It's just it's so well done. It really is.
Yeah.
So I don't love Mr. Prinkle Pants and Trixie and like Buttercup, like the Bonnie toys.
They're okay. I like Prinkle Pants. Improv.
Yeah, like it's fun, it's cool, but like, do I like those toys better than like Jessie or Bullseye?
No. No.
I don't think you're supposed to.
Well, they're new toys, and if you're comparing it to another movie in the franchise, those are new toys, and now in the franchise moving forward, those are who you compare it to.
But they were never designed to be main characters. It's not like they were given the same level of screen time that Jessie and Bullseye were given in the second movie. Like Jessie and Bullseye were going to be main characters in that movie, and then in any movie or movies going forward. These guys are just toys that have to interact with Woody so he can kind of figure out that
I understand
the daycare is bad to go and save them. You know what I'm saying?
So I would count it with then, okay, Mrs. Potato Head doesn't have that much screen time. I think she's a better character than those. And she was introduced in Toy Story.
Yeah, more in line with Mrs. Potato Head, yeah. Okay. But I agree. She did that they kind of all blend together. You have Trixie, Prickle Pants, and then I guess Dolly is the one voiced by Bonnie Hunt. But the only thing I will say is Trixie, who they have more of roles in like the fourth one, a little more, I guess. They're a little more characters, but they don't come on the road trip, which is interesting. But the Trixie, is she part of Rex's set, do you think? She's like the Triceratops?
Might be. So
I feel like she might be, right?
Did you see, again, we're not talking about too much about the shorts. Did you see the short where they go to the Dinosaur Island short for Toy Story?
I don't think so.
No, I haven't seen that one.
It's on Disney Plus, and there was a huge. I saw it on TV at the time. There was a
I'll watch it with you.
Yeah. There was a huge layover between Toy Story 2 and Toy Story 3. So that's when they made Toy Story Terror, and I can't think of the name on the top of my head, but there is like a short, and it's like Dinosaur Island and something like that, and like I'm pretty sure like they kind of hint at the idea that like, you know, Rex always wanted another dinosaur, and I so like this is kind of this idea like that. I would think it's maybe like Bonnie goes over to someone's house for like a play date and she can bring some toys. Like that's like the plot of it. Yeah.
I would have liked to have seen a short. They mentioned the guys in the Christmas decoration guys in the attic when they're talking about going. They're like, oh, they're nice. I would have loved to see like a Christmas spinoff where they're like with those guys. That would be fun. And it's like the nativity guys or like, you know, Santas and stuff, like a bunch of Santas. That'd be fun.
Don't all the toys kind of give like a reaction? Like they're like, oh, the
yeah,
guys
which is why I think
the Christmas
fun.
Guys
it'd be like
attic, they're
like
fun, right? Or like
they got to deal with all the Christmas guys that coming down like in December.
That's true. That would be a good
bunch of nutcrackers.
Definitely. Yeah, I was gonna say something else about Triceratops and Rex. I thought that they were gonna hint when they're on the computer and the AI screen pops out and it's like, who's like something Saurus 89. And she's like, it's just some dinosaur down the street.
Rex.
I thought that was going to be Rex.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be.
But then I guess it could be because then they're playing the game later, but they're not. Yeah. Like, so maybe that could be Rex. Who knows?
Rex is shown.
Because Andy has a laptop.
Yeah. Right, Rex is shown.
Yeah, right. He plays the game.
He plays Super Nintendo. Yeah. Yep.
He defeated Zurg.
That's it.
Big deal.
And he can't even press jump and shoot at the same time with small hands. He did it.
Then we mentioned it before, but yeah, Blake Clark replaces Jim Varney in this one for Slinky Dog. And this is R. Lee Ermey's last time playing Sarge before his death in 2018. So we lose a couple of favorites. I love the Army guys. They're always clever. And I love at the end, they land in Sunnyside in the end credits. It's so funny. They just tie so much back into the movie. It's so good. So good. I'm trying to think if there's anything else we haven't really touched on. We talked about it in so many broad strokes, but I mean, I really like this movie. The ending is really just what puts it all together for me. We already mentioned the incinerator, but it's really the Bonnie scene that ties it for me. It's just perfect. And we were in college when Andy was going to college. It just started our college time. He's a neighbor. He can kind of see the toys when he needs to. It's so nice. And everything is kind of leading that way throughout the movie, but the payoff is, it's so good. That is perfect to me.
And it really kind of like each movie, they kind of talk about these ideas of like, you know, Woody in the first one is, he wants to be Andy's number one favorite toy that he always plays with, but then he comes to the realization, he's like, well, no, all of us need to play with him. And then the second one, they're kind of like, it like builds up to them thinking like there's going to be a time past Andy. Like they don't exactly say it like blatantly, like we got to get ready for whenever we move on from Andy. But it kind of builds in the first two movies and then gets to the third one where it's like, well, now we're really without him, and they're okay with it. Kind of how like they accepted their fate going into the incinerator. They accepted the fact that there's going to be a time past Andy. We're okay with that time being now. Like we're ready to move on to whatever the next chapter in our lives, I guess you would say. The toys are alive, but they were ready to go to that next stage basically. But it kind of built throughout the first two movies to get to that point. Again, why I picked this one over one.
Yeah, I mean, credit where credit's due. 98% on Rotten Tomatoes. Not a perfect 100, but it's pretty damn close.
No. Toy Story 2 got 100.
Yeah, it did. I think it speaks for itself. But Best Picture nominated, one animated that year, Best Original Song that year. It's everyone loves 3. We can debate, split hairs about all of it, but people love this movie as they love 1 for being iconic, and they love 2 for being the best sequel. They love 3 for being the best closer. So you can't really go wrong.
Amazing. So I should have brought this up earlier, but I'll say this now. So I once there's a bar on Long Island, not too far from my house, called Nostalgia, and they all like have different. The walls are painted with like Ren and Stimpy, and then like it's like an aggro crag from Nick Guts, and like all this crazy stuff. And it's a really awesome bar. It's very small but very cool. Shout out to Nostalgia on Long Island, and Beth Page right by me, and they had a trivia night. And one of the trivia nights was like Toy Story trivia night. And I went with my wife and I, my friend Frody and his wife, and we went and like, we're gonna crush this. There's no way we're gonna lose this. And we won, and it was awesome. Like basically every question, like I knew.
You guys won sick.
Yeah, we walked in first. Like I basically watched it. This was a couple of years ago now. This maybe like 4 years ago, I would say. And so I really watched it. I was just like writing notes, like memorizing like things. So that's why when we did like this, I was like, all right, I really don't have to rewatch it that much because like I watched it casually with Julia recently, but like I also like I watched it a couple of years ago with notes, so like I'm pretty good at it. But it was one.
He just dusted off the notes.
There was like one thing. Yeah. There was like one question that got me, and I was like, what is the name of this character? Can you see it? It's the binoculars. People listening on the podcast. It's the binoculars from Toy Story 1, and then they go, hey, look, and look, Woody and Buzz is coming up fast.
Yeah, I know exactly. Woody and Buzz coming up fast
when they're in the truck. Yeah,
correct. Yeah, Toy Story 1. I was like, oh man, there's one question I didn't know. I was like, And so I was just throwing it out there. So this is the only one that got wrong that we almost lost. It was pretty competitive. And it was one of the questions.
I want to say like lens or some.
I don't know.
Damn. So I guess Specs. I'm like, oh, maybe, but it wasn't like that. So his name was Dixon. I'm very impressed. It's Lenny is how it's listed in the credits.
Oh, that's right. That's
Damn.
Right. Yeah. So it was cool. They had all different questions. One of them was like, name the color buttons on Woody. On Buzz. Like that. One of them was like,
they went detailed with these.
No,
questions.
yeah, it was really intense. One of them was like, what Disney character is on Andy's wall in the clock? And so actually, if you notice in Andy's room, there's an iconic Disney character that he has like a clock that's like shaped like a watch on his wall. You guys know?
No.
I'm trying to think. I can picture the clock. I just can't think of who the character is. Who is it?
Mickey Mouse.
Oh, that would have been
Duh.
And then one of the other lines too was like tricky. It was like, what's the first line Woody ever said in the movie? I was like, oh man, yeah. So yeah, I think it was like, it's like I want to like it was like you're my favorite deputy. It was like one of them like that, but I think it's like, howdy. It's like I thought it might have been
Hody.
Yeah, right. Oh, yeah, the shark. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like correct. So honestly, I don't even remember. I have to look it up. I don't remember the answer on top of my head right now, but it was like that was one of the questions at the time. I remember I knew it because like these kind of trivia things always do. Like, what's the first line of the movie or all this stuff.
Yeah.
We did like a hocus pocus one time, and that was a question. I was like, all right. So then from there I learned. But yeah, so it was pretty cool like that. And so we won, and we got like a gift card for the bar and things like that. And so it's just so awesome, like seeing all these Toy Story fans like try to compete and like stuff like that.
Oh yeah, I love that.
Yeah, it was awesome. Yeah. So it's just such a fun franchise, and what makes it special is like you like talking about sharing with your kids. It's at Disney parks, and there's like I think it's Disneyland Paris or somewhere overseas. They actually have different Disney rides than the ones they do in Orlando. They have a giant like half pipe, and it's an RC. You can ride in an RC. And it goes like up and down in like a half pipe.
That's sick.
Yeah,
that's really cool.
It's one of the Europe Disneys. Yeah.
It's funny going through these movies. They bring up a lot of very interesting, and I know we're not going to be able to talk about this, but just there's something I was just thinking about. They bring up very like philosophical questions. Like if these toys are real, like what's they're there obviously for the kids, but it's like what's their, how do they know to not be alive in front of kids?
It's like breathing.
Dude, you read
but
that
is
line.
it like are they taught that at some point? Do they like see it from, because you think about Forky, right? He's like created because
but yeah, he does the collapse,
but he does it, but so he just knows to do that.
It's the same as there's the question about Buzz. He's a space ranger in one, but he collapses like all the other toys. And a journalist had asked, I think it was Andrew Stanton or someone else, this question. And he said that came up in production and we were toiling with that for like months. And the end decision was just not to address it at all.
Ugh.
And I'm fine with that because like I said, it's like breathing. It's instinctual. Like Buzz doesn't know he's a toy, but because he's a toy, his instinct is to drop. And then he picks up. And it's like the brain doesn't match. You breathe, but you could still be crazy, So that's essentially what it is. It's like breathing. You just kind of, Andy's here. You just drop.
Yeah, involuntary.
But it's also they're able to interact with people. Like Woody straight up talks to.
It's a choice. Like, it's a choice.
Yeah. Correct. Yeah, it's a choice.
People
could be crazy. Toys could be haunted. Toys could be crazy. Yeah. It's a choice, or like about that. A choice could be evil, right? So I think they made a smart choice with that for sure.
All right, I think we're here ready for closing arguments. Can we?
Yeah. And what time is it now? 11:50. Not bad. What time is Scream end? Like 1:30 in the morning.
This is actually. I think we're going to beat the Scream. I think we're going to beat the Scream one. But before we do,
to infinity and beyond.
Are we doing favorite quotes of Toy Story? We sure, Sky.
We can do favorite quotes. Do favorite quotes. What do you got?
So I love. I know so many crazy ones. I said that's in Japan. I love that's in Japan. I love that one.
That's so good.
I love that one. I have that one. I have Owl's Toy Barn. So I think those two are my favorite.
For Mr. Spell.
Mr. Spell, yeah, amazing. But it's tough. Like sometimes do I like low key like my bottom's heading to Baton Rouge. Or like my backside's heading to Baton Rouge, like the Jim Barney voice. So look it up. It's amazing.
My backside.
I headed to Baton Rouge. Yeah, so the way he says it. Toy Story 1, low key quote that always gets me, even as a kid, even when I didn't understand it, is when Mr. Potato goes, "Look, Picasso," and like, he looks around, and he's like, "What are you looking at, you hockey puck?" Like, yeah. I think that line somebody always stuck with me all these years later. Toy Story 3, like just the sorry, cowboy, he broke me. Like, like,
oh yeah, with the phone.
yeah. It's just so many good ones. And like,
I love that. I love that.
Yeah.
You should have got out when you had the chance.
It's like such a good character, like the old timer. And then like Toy Story 4, yeah, it's tough too. I just think like, it's tough because there's so many things I want to like hate about it, like quoting wise. But like, there are some good things, like Forky just be like I think I'm trash. It's like so stupid, but like it's such a good thing for like little kids to say.
Yeah.
But like a obscure line of Toy Story 4, I'm trying to think of one on the top of my head right now because it is definitely the worst, as we talked about. But I don't know. Even the line where it's like when what's the name of the small Polly Pocket girl?
Miss Minnie or something
Miss
like that,
Prickles
right?
or someone. I skip her name, but she goes like, "What an idiotic thing to do," and he's like, "That's why you love him for it." Like that line that both
Yeah.
That's like, again, we're showing her like how much we knowledge of Toy Story 4. Where like I can quote Toy Story 1, like we
Easily.
toys see everything like that. But yes,
and 4 is not that new anymore. It's it's been around for like 8 years, so it's 6 years, so it's had a little bit of staying power. What about rankings of songs here as we do our closing arguments here? We'll just keep it in like a nice little clean set. But we got You Got a Friend in Me, Strange Things, I'll Go Sailing Too, When She Loved Me, which is the Jesse song, We Belong Together from the 3, and I Can't Let You Throw Yourself Away. Dixon, what do you got here for like a loose ranking?
You Got a Friend in Me's got to be number one. I think that's
Fair.
definitely number one. That's a classic. We said if that's not in the movie, it doesn't really feel like a Toy Story movie. So you got to have that in there. I'd probably go with When Somebody Loved Me is my number 2. As sad of a song as that is, it's just so good. It just flows so well, and it kills you, but it's a great song. And then I don't know. I think I would lump the rest of them together in no particular order, but those two are definitely the two standouts for me for sure.
So when Somebody Loved Me, instrumental version is incredible. And the Toy Story Land, you guys ever been to Toy Story Land?
No, but I'm actually going. We just booked our tickets. My first time. We're going in September.
Sick, man.
Nice.
Awesome. Well, good time to go as well. Yeah. Go to Epcot too if you can, because they're doing food and wine festivals. So it's fun for the adults too during the fall.
Yeah, we got the park hopper. So
nice. All right. Anyway, so they play Disney music, but a lot of times they play like the instrumental version of the songs. And the Somebody Loved Me instrumental version just really hits home, the way the violins and kind of all sounds.
I feel like I can hear it.
Yeah, it's amazing. So you go on YouTube, and I do this when I'm working, or like background music. I love doing Toy Story like instrumentals, and like you could play it, and it has like all of them, like the whole like all 4 songs and what they play in Toy Story Land. All 4 movies, I should say. Yeah, You Got a Friend Me is the best. I think number 2, and I think I hinted at this, is Woody's Roundup for me. I love it. I think it really captures the Howdy Doody vibe. Instrumental version is also awesome. Jessie the yodeling cowgirl, like yodelay, like it just everything about it. I think it's awesome. Strange Things is so good.
I think Strange Things is my favorite.
That's my number 3, and then like. Yeah, I think I Can't Let You Throw Yourself Away. I think is actually my 4, probably Mount Rushmore if I had to rank them. But We Belong Together is very good. I think the way Randy Newman really hits home. I think we kind of maybe missed him, and it's like throw yourself away. Like it really
so
hits
good.
Home. Yeah. So I think that's probably my top 4. But I Will Go Sailing No More. Again, I was just listening to it today. Yeah, it's Randy Newman showing his range. And a slower song, not as upbeat as some of the other ones. Really good. And then like When Somebody Loved Me, like it's such a different vibe to not rank him in there. But like it's so like those like When Somebody Loved Me is so good. It should have won the Oscar, but I get it how it didn't. I think we can look this up. Wasn't South Park like Blame Canada, or like Kyle's Mom's Like a Big Fat Bitch, was that also nominated that same year? Can we look that up?
For animated
No, for like best song.
Yeah, animated song.
I'm almost positive they lost to Phil Collins.
2010. So let me
look up When Somebody Loved Me. When Somebody Loved Me was a South Park movie song nominated, because I was positive they did an episode the following season, like as a pilot, just shitting on Phil Collins.
Let me see. Let's see. Oh no, Blame Canada comes up. It comes up when I searched. Okay. When I searched animated song 1999 Oscar, Blame Canada Wikipedia page is the first result. So wow. You're right.
Top of it. I'm a big South Park guy too. So yep. And then like I said, closing arguments. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, we're in it. We're in it.
We're in it. I said it before. I'll say it again. You cut the clip. Toy Story 2 is the greatest family sequel of all time, and it is in the Mount Rushmore of greatest sequels in cinema. Cut the clip.
No, I love that you say cut the clip. Cut the clip.
No, because it's true. I'm give me the lie to test right now. 100%. Godfather Part 2 is awesome. Empire Strikes Back. Right. Oh, Aliens.
Dark Knight.
Dark Knight, right? There's so many, even like Rocky 2 to a low degree. Like there's so many awesome sequels, probably ones I'm even forgetting right now. But Toy Story 2 is there because the job of a sequel is to build upon the first one in every way. And it does that. And as we discussed for the last 2 hours and 21 minutes and counting, this franchise is amazing. But Toy Story 2 does it the best. And it doesn't need a trilogy ending to make you feel emotional. It could be a standalone film and you just watch 2 and you feel the connection of those characters, where in 3 you need a prior 1 or 2 to really hit home that connection. And that's why it is the greatest sequel for a family movie ever made, and it's arguably the one that, if not the greatest sequel ever made. Cut it.
It's really hard to argue with that. I only go off of 3 just capping it off and being the perfect ending and the way you want to see these characters go. Even though I disagree with Tarantino that he says he's not going to watch 4, which I think is bullshit. You should watch the fucking movie.
Give me the icons. Give it to me.
Yeah. I'll keep watching them. And the next thing I want to talk about is a little bit about 5, just slightly before we go. But, I'll keep on coming back as we see these movies, even though 3 is my ultimate favorite. And I think the capstone, you got me. I love Woody and Buzz. And, I think it is a Woody and Buzz series. I prefer it when they're together, and I hope that the next one kind of brings that together. But that's it for me. It doesn't have to end at 3, but if I needed it to, it could. It's a perfect trilogy. It really is. Even though it's not like where the other ones don't feel like they're separate, or it doesn't feel like it's, discussions of canon and stuff like that. There's no Toy Story canon. All the movies work together. There's nothing to like break off or, not consider it. But yeah, I love them all. I really do.
I was going to say the trilogy, the first 3 are absolutely amazing. The way that they build off of each other. I think 4 is a good companion piece to them. And I think that you could not have asked for a better first movie from Pixar to kind of set them on their path to where they are today than Toy Story 1. It was a perfect first movie and did such a great job of not only setting up that universe, but helping to create kind of the world and what everybody understands and knows as like a Pixar movie. You could not have asked for a better kickoff to that studio than Toy Story 1.
So for 5, Phil, I know you don't watch trailers. Do you know the basic? I'm not going to get into like spoiler territory. I only watched the trailer once or twice, so I don't know too much. But do you know the basic plot of 5?
Yeah, I'll tell you what I know. So, for people listening, so I really try to avoid trailers, and I just feel like they ruin a lot of things. But they're really showing a lot during these NBA playoffs, so it's been
it's hard to avoid.
It's been really tough recently because ABC and the Eastern Conference has been on ABC, so it's been really hard to dodge these. But yes, I do know the premise is now a Jesse focused story. And I do know that there's a lot of buzzes involved, and it's a toys versus like Lily, the iPad technology. Mm-hmm. And I do know there's a clip of, I haven't seen it, but I do know there's a clip of Woody having a ball spot. And that's my knowledge so far, Toy Story 5. And I've done a pretty good job at dodging it so far, I think.
That's actually pretty good because you actually knew, like, I didn't know that Jesse was the focal point. I had seen the poster, and I noticed Jesse was in the center of the poster.
Don't tell me the poster, bro. I thought you were in Scream 7. I didn't even see the poster afterwards. Come on, it's insane. Because it tells you a lot. You can't look at the poster.
Well, yeah, so that
okay,
I won't say anything else.
I'm going to see the damn movie. Don't show me it. I don't want to see it. You already have my money. Stop it.
Yeah, I think it's just without getting into spoiler territory.
Put up Toy Story 5 and a picture of all the characters and new characters. I'm like, this is when it's coming out. You're going to see it.
I'll say that it's a clever idea to pit them against technology. It makes it very present, really brings you back where, like, all right, 4, it's like, oh, well, why are we making this story? You can make a case here or there, but this makes it more present in the social construct in the world, and maybe we'll teach some nice Pixar lessons along the way. So I'm really pulling for it. I have really high hopes for it. Andrew Stanton's directing. He did Nemo and he did WALL-E, and he's been around the whole series. We mentioned his name a bunch, so I think it's going to be good. Toy Story movies are always good. I'm going to jinx us, but I don't think we're going to be disappointed. I'm more hopeful for this one than I was for 4. Where 4, I was like, oh, they're coming back. I'll see it, but they're coming back. Like, they really got to make this amazing.
4 was tough. 4 was like, everybody was like, we didn't need it. But here's what I'll do say, but you talked about the story. So I've seen people online, and my algorithm is a lot sometimes of these things. So I gotta like flush my algorithm out sometimes, so until after I see Toy Story 5, and then I'll flood it. The same thing with Scream. I basically made sure I didn't see any Scream stuff, and then the minute I started looking at stuff, it became all Scream. So right now I saw some Scream algorithms. I'm really dodging Toy Story, and I'm sure once I see it, I'll be done. But I didn't see some people talk about it and how they wanted to do Andy as a focal point. And there's some fans online, I don't know if you heard, how they wanted to have Andy as like he gets the toys back and he gives it to his kid, and maybe it's different adventures of Andy collecting the toys with the gang, gathering the toys. And I'm skeptical of the idea because it sounds awesome, right? The idea of Andy bringing his toys back to his family and they're scattered across different places, and Andy and the toys kind of get them back. Is the focus of the toys doing it? I love it. If the focus is too much Andy centric and he's getting the toys, I hate it, because
totally agree.
It's never about Andy. It's a scene or two. You're emotional. You connect. You relate to Andy. We're the same age. I don't want Andy traveling around. I want the toys traveling around trying to find these toys. That's what I want. So
here's how you could do that, though. You can have Andy be so let's just say we start with Woody or Buzz or even Jesse, right? And they're in a different location from all the other toys. Like all the toys are like spread on different locations. They could maybe run into Andy or like see him somewhere and leave like a note, like how Woody left the note to drop the donation box off to Molly and like how to get them over to her. They could do the same thing where it's like, oh, so-and-so is like at this location, or like they can like somehow convince him to go to another spot where one of the toys are. And then when they're there, the toys get into some little altercation, or they have to like break another toy out of a box, or like they're being held against their will or something. Like you can have the toys be the movement to get Andy to go and get all the other toys back together, and he doesn't realize what's going on. It's just the toys doing it, but it's him that has to like physically get them from place to place to get them all back.
I don't hate that idea at all. As long as it's more toy focus. I don't know if you've seen that, or Gabe, have you seen people online talk about this?
Yeah, and I've seen the chatter. Yeah, and in some ways it makes sense. I'm not trying to. I think there's a way to elegantly do it, but we talk about growing up with these characters. I feel like we pass down our toys to our kids. That's the new frontier, so maybe there's something after this one. The Toy Story 6, if we get it, will be something with a pass down from parent to kid.
Yeah, I don't hate the idea. I just want to make sure it's not Andy focused. Is my
totally agree.
But yeah, I actually think the idea sounds awesome in theory. And then that would be a perfect wrap up for the 4, 5, and 6, right? And you wrap up the new trilogy.
And then you, I mean, Tim Allen and Tom Hanks are in their late 60s now. I think the voices are going to start tired.
Voice acting is not. I mean, it's strenuous, but it's not that. I mean,
no, they can get away with it. They can get away with it.
I mean, they can get away. Like, look at Betty White, and she's freaking active, right? Like how old she kept on doing some things. Like, you can get away with really. Like Tom Hanks, come on, man. Like, he's gonna be doing forever. He already doing like a million like rom drums kind of now and stuff like that. Like all the Tom Hanks' career, what it was. Like these guys are gonna act forever. And Tim Allen, like he just living.
Tim Allen loves it.
He's living up Disney paychecks, basically.
Yeah, he loves it.
Yeah. Home Improvement reruns, probably, and Disney.
Disney Santa Claus.
Right. So Disney movies,
yeah. All right. I think this is going to be a wrap on our Toy Story rewatch. It's midnight. We're talking about toys.
Love it.
All four films have now been ranked, been discussed, but Toy Story 5 is right around the corner. So we will be back to cover that as soon as it's out. But before we do that, next week, we're going to be doing another ranking episode, ranking the Scary Movie franchise with Scary Movie 6's new release titled Scary Movie. So we'll be doing that next week. And then after that, we're going to be doing Steven Spielberg's Disclosure Day, a new release that I'm very, very excited about. Haven't been watching the trailers for that, so I'm going in cold. And then we're going to swing on back to Toy Story 5. Then we'll do DC's Supergirl the week after. And I can't believe we're almost there. Then we're going to move into our Odyssey binge before Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey. So lots to look forward to on the Movie Marathon podcast. I want to thank again, my Roundup gang, Dixon and Phil, for joining. Thanks for listening to all the viewers and listeners. Thanks for subscribing, helping us build this thing. And remember, the movie may be over, but the marathon always continues. Peace.
There's a snake in my boot.
Peace.